All right. Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
We were discussing basics, kind of basics. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a recap before we go into the next topics. People, we spoke about the basics in the previous class. We started entering into the subject of direct taxes in the previous class. Yes, we spoke about the difference between what is direct tax, what is indirect tax. We agreed that laws is bigger than act. Law comprises of act, rules, circulars, notifications. Yes, 5 items we discussed. First, act is created by legislative body. The rules, circulars, and notifications are created by administrative body, which is your CBDT. And finally, we have case laws, which are created by judicial bodies, which are your courts of India. Yes or no? Yes. Then we spoke about the fact that when it comes to Income Tax Act, income tax was created in 1961 with effect from 1st April 1960. 1st April 1962. Income tax rules came from 1962. Act talks about what to do. Rules talks about how to do. Yes. Act cannot override rules. Auditing people. Yes. Rules cannot override act. Rule cannot override act. In act, you have multiple items. One is called section, then you have subsection, then you have clause, subclause, items, sub items. These are all the items which you have. When you have provisos, provisos will override the subsections. Provisos will override the subsections. Explanations cannot override the subsections. The order of priority is proviso, subsection, explanations. Proviso, subsection, and explanation. Either it's subsection, provisos, clause, whatever it is. Yes, provisos will be on the top, then it comes the definition, and then comes the explanations. In rules also you have the same format. You start with rules, then you have sub rules, then you have clause, then you have subclause, then you have items, and then sub items. We have circulars and notifications which are issued by CBDT. Which of them is binding on department? Both are binding on the department. Which is binding on assessees? Only notifications are binding on general publics. Yes or no? This is what we discussed in the previous classes, and we ended our discussion with that. Then we moved on to something called as the charging section of income tax, which is section number 4. Yes, we ended our discussion in section number 4, where we spoke about a few items. First item we spoke about is person, where we try to understand person includes individuals, HUF, company, firms, AOP, BOIs, local authorities, and artificial juridical person. That is what we discussed as a person definition of income tax. Yes or no? Yes. Then we went on to also understanding what is India. We also went on to understanding what is previous year and assessment year. Yes, we ended our discussion in the last class with previous year and assessment year. We spoke about the fact that when it comes to previous year, it is the year in which you earn your income. Assessment year is the year in which you assess your income. For your exams, it is previous year 24-25. Assessment year is 20. Correct. This is what we discussed in the previous classes. Yes or no? Yes. Understand this carefully, people, that for every attempt, this is how it will work. Yes. If it's Finance Act 24, Finance Act 24 will apply to previous year 24-25 and will apply to assessment year 25-26. Yes. So when you go for your interviews, people, you also need to be mindful as to what is being asked. If you go for an interview and your principal comes and tells you, principal as in the manager, the one who's going to recruit you. Yes. If the person comes and tells you, tell me what is the tax rate of an individual. If you jump and start saying, sir, 2.5 lakhs, 5 lakhs and all, they will throw you out. The first and the most right question to come and ask is, for which assessment year do you want the data for? In case he comes and says, I want assessment year 25-26, you are safe, because that is what you read or should remember. Yes, assuming by the time you go for articleship, he says, I want assessment year 26-27. Now don't go hyper there. Don't go there and come and say, sir, no, I read only 25-26. This is out of syllabus. You're coming and asking me. Very simple question. You need to come and tell, sir, 25-26 is what I read for my exams. But happy to support in 26-27. If you can just provide me the copy of the simple. Yes, you can ask for the copy of that. He will come and give you the copy of that. People understand. All this mugging up, writing an exam, vomiting an exam is only in ICA. No one in the practical world expects you to remember everything on the top of your head. Yes, that is what I told you in the previous class also. If you come and tell it on the top of your head, no one is paying you money. Yes, it is supposed to take time. If you go and take more time, only people will appreciate it better. Yes, the more and more you refer books, the more and more they trust you more. Yes or no? Yes, so when you go to a principal also, don't say no. Say you're ready to try. Let him give you a chance. He will give you now the act. You will have to just go through the act and come and tell him what the new rates are as per 20. 2627 as per assessment year 2627. Yes, but here is where the question, assuming he plays googly and he comes and says, okay, tell me which finance act do you want? I have 50 acts. Now you need to be smart. You are looking at assessment year 2627, previous year, which means finance act. That is what the answer is. That's what the answer is. Be careful about these kind of things. Yes, when you go into the top level things, you have to also know the basics. When your foundation is not strong, nothing on the top will make sense. Yes, sometimes principal will come to the point where he'll ask you the most basic question. And you'll be like, chapter number 1 ही तो छोड़ के आया था मैं. Yes, so be careful on your basics before you go into your advanced topics. Yes or no? Yes. So please be mindful that people, if you're looking for an assessment year, the finance act is the previous year. Previous year. The finance act is the previous year. Yes. So if it's for assessment year 25-26, it is 24. 26-27 is 25, and so on and so forth. So on and so forth. Make sense? Yes or no? Yes. Now, one question to you straightforward. I told you acts do not change. Finance act changes. Finance act changes. Yes. So therefore, the question then comes is, Rahul, if you're coming and asking for the rates of tax, you're coming and asking for the rates of tax, will it be given in income tax act? No, it will be given in. That is what you need to understand. Yes. So which means when you go to a person and the person comes and says, give me what the tax rates are, don't come and jump and tell, give me income tax act. You're failed there itself. You're failed there itself. You need to come and tell, give me the 2025. Give me the finance act 2025. Yes. Now you also need to know where is it there in the finance act. He'll give you one page with 500 pages. You cannot go and sit and read it. Yes or no? You should know where it is also given. Yes. Understand people, tax rates is a big thing, small thing. Lot of data can be put in the act itself. We'll put it in an annexure, which is called, very good, which is called schedules. Yes or no? Yes. So what happens is when you get a finance act, you'll open the schedule. You'll open the schedule. In that schedule, you'll have the rates. So you have to go read the rates from the schedule, and that is what the answer would be. That is what the answer would be. Yes or no? Just giving you hints, people. No worries. When we complete the batch, somewhere in the middle of the batch, I'll also take you how to read an act. I'll take you through how to read an act. Right now, it's a little too early for you. Yes, if I try right now, you won't understand. Yes, so when you go through the syllabus a little bit more and you start remembering income tax but start forgetting the topics, that time we will go and discuss what an act looks like. Yes, so I'll show you the Bare Act, I'll show you how to read an Bare Act and what English kind of Bare Act they use in India. Yes, that all we'll do. Yes, part of the practical exposure, we'll do that also. Right now, not important for you. Clear enough? Yes or no? Yes, this is what we have as a part of the discussion. Any doubts, Julia? No. Now, I'm going to take my step back and I'm going to do the same thing we discussed yesterday, people. What is called as your previous year and what is called as your assessment year. What is called as your assessment year. For your syllabus, your previous year stands at previous year 24-25 and your assessment year stands at 25-26. Now, while you understand this, people, also to bear in mind that when it comes to Income Tax Act, Income Tax has made it very clear. I only follow financial year. I only follow financial year, which means from April to March. I only follow April to March. My subject comes and says only April to March is the way to go. Is the way to go. Now you go to Companies Act, you go to your accounts, you'll see 31st December, 30th June, unnecessary nonsense and all happening. Yes, income tax says I don't care. Income tax says I don't care. If your company is following a different accounting period, it is your mistake. It is your mistake. I don't care. For the purpose of tax, you need to maintain financial years. For the purpose of tax, you need to maintain financial years, which means if you come to a point where your company is maintaining 31st December, income tax will say that is your accounts. I don't care. Prepare a separate account for me. Prepare a separate account for me, which starts from April to March. Which starts from April to March. So all companies or all individuals, any other person maintaining a different financial year will have to now create two books. And now have to create two books, one for income tax, one for accounts and one for income tax. Yes or no? Yes. So all those things in foundation, people, your accounts book will come and say year ending 31st December, year ending 30th June, all are stupid. They are straightforward stupid. Nothing happens in practical life. Everyone in practical life follows April to March. Yes. Income tax has that much power to come and overrule everything else. Yes. So we don't care what happens in other acts. We come and tell it is April to March. Yes. Your Companies Act, when you go, people, when you read when you start reading the subject, that will also come and tell you the same logic. It will come and tell when it comes to Companies Act, normally you're supposed to follow April to March. Normally you're supposed to follow April to March, but Companies Act gives you an exception where it comes and says in case you're holding company, in case you're meaning a person who's holding more than 51% in your company. A person who's holding more than 51% in your company is your holding company. Yes.
Control over the board of
Also, also has an additional condition which says they can have majority control over the board of directors. Yes, those are the two conditions in case you become a holding company. 20% is associate companies. Yes, I'm talking about holding company, holding subsidiaries. Companies Act comes and says if you have a holding company which is not an Indian guy, he's a foreign guy, and in that country they have a different reporting period. In that country, if they have a different reporting period, for the purpose of consolidation, you can have a different reporting period here also. For the purpose of consolidation, you can have a different reporting period here also. Again, discussions on this law faculty will do, I will not do. Yes, just clarifying to you that there is a provision like this in Companies Act. For income tax, I don't care. Even if Companies Act comes and allows you to have a different reporting period, income tax says forget everything off. I want April to March. I want April to March. So even though because Companies Act is coming and saying you can maintain a different reporting period, income tax will say, boss, I want only April to March. You do April to March and get lost from here. Yes, no further changes to be made. No further changes to be made. Even if Companies Act is permitting it, you will still have to maintain two accounts. You still have to maintain two accounts, one for me and one for them. One for me, one for them. Make sense? Yes or no? Yes. So what is the reporting period, people? It is from 1st April to 31st 25. This is one simple thing. This is one simple thing. Income tax says any financial year starts from April and ends on March. Ends on March. Any doubts? No. Question to you. Can previous year and assessment year be exactly 12 months, or should it be more than 12 months, less than 12 months? Should be exactly 12 months. Can there be a possibility that it be less than 12 months? No possibility. Absolutely no possibility. Sure about it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Which means previous year is always for 12 months, assessment year is always for 12 months. Correct? Correct. Question. Imagine I'm creating a company. Imagine I'm creating a company on 20th August 24. What is my previous year, people? Previous year is 24-25. Assessment year is, give me date format. Give me date format. Starting and ending point. I'll help. Ending date is 31st March. Starting date. 1st April. So this year no tax. If you say 25-26, that means whatever you do this year no tax. You have incorporated a company on 20th August. I want the previous year and the assessment year in date format. 20. Okay. To 31st March 20. Is everyone aligned to this? Does it look 12 months to you? You just told me previous year should be 12 months. Exempted. Exception. Question is very simple. Should previous year always be for a period of 12 months? No. There can be exceptions to the rule where it can be less than 12 months. Exception could be a case where you have newly incorporated. Possible, not possible? People, same question. Tell me what is the assessment here? Date format. What did you notice? Simple words. Previous year may or may not be for. Assessment year is always for. No change in assessment years. No change in assessment years, because understand, people, that year you're not doing any transaction. That year you're only assessing income. So it can be for the whole year. It doesn't matter. It can be for the whole year. It doesn't matter, because you're just going to take numbers of the previous year and compute taxes this year. So it can be for a period of 12 months. But previous year has to be only for a defined period where you were alive. Where you were alive. Yes or no? You were alive only from 20th August. You are alive only from 20th August. When I say alive, company is incorporated in 20th August, which means your previous year only starts from 20th August, can end on 31st March. Can end on 31st March. I'll come to that part. I have all the questions in hand, don't worry. Yes. You don't ask me questions. I will ask you a question. You will answer. Yes. If you ask my question, then what will I answer? Yes. Yes. This is the question, people, where you're coming and incorporating yourself on 20th August. You're incorporating yourself on 20th August. In that case, your previous year will only start from 20th August. The previous year will only start from 20th August. Any doubts on this? No. Which means, in simple words, previous year will be for a period 12 months or less than 12 months. 12 months or less than 12 months. Can at any point of time you come and say previous year is more than 12 months? So Companies Act comes and says that after 31st March, whatever company gets created will have 15 months or accounts to get prepared. Correct? Correct. That is Companies Act. This is income tax. I don't care. I don't care. Yes, your Companies Act comes and says that in financial year terms, they say it is April to March. But in case your company is incorporated after January, you will not create accounts for the first Jan to March. You will create accounts from Jan to next March, which means for 15 months you will create. For 15 months you create. That's what income taxes. I don't care. Income taxes. I don't care. For me, previous year is only for 12 months. Previous year is only for 12 months. It cannot go more than 12 months. If you do Jan to March, it becomes 15. Not allowed. Which means it has to be Jan to March separate accounts, April to March separate accounts. So even though Companies Act will say no do companies or accounts, I will tell do accounts. I will say do accounts, mandatory to be done. Mandatory to be done. Yes, which means in my terms, people, previous year can be for 12 or cannot be for. Assessment year will be for. Cannot be. Cannot be. That is what the idea is. That is what the idea is. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yes. Now I told you previous year can be for less than 12 months. How much less? How much less? Simple, straightforward question, people. Imagine company got incorporated on 31st March 25. Makle, I want the previous year and assessment year. Try again. Previous year is your 25. Okay. Assessment year is? Okay. Give me dates. Wait. Give me dates. 1st April 25 to 26. मैं बताता हूँ क्या कर लेगा, रुक जा. 31st March. Correct? Which means whatever you did on 31st March is ignored. Correct? Okay. What if your due date is what if you incorporate on 30th March 25? 31st. So वहाँ पे चलेगा. So 30 to 31st चलेगा. 31st नहीं चलेगा. क्या? So what is your previous year? Previous year 20? 24, 25. Assessment year is? Okay, give me the dates. 24 कहाँ से आ गया? 31st March? 2? See, that's you and I agreeing on logics. But when you go to your CFO, you cannot come and say, sir, क्यों माताफोड़ी कर रहे हो? अगले साल देखते हैं. चैप्टर ही बदल गया. Where is my notes? Where is my notes? Yes. हाँ. So क्या हो गया इसको? Yeah. हाँ. From 2. 31st March 25 to. How does the from and to work together? You can incorporate whenever you want. That's not a problem. You fall between 31st March 25 to 31st March 25. Logical question. But logical question. What exactly can you do in one day? Yes. What is the big deal in one day? One day, so you can spend off sleeping also. No. Yes. Technically, there's nothing much you can do in one day, so it's okay to skip. It's okay to skip. Agreed? Not agreed? Not agreed? Sure. Give you a simple story, people. Let's tell me. Look at the story and tell me whether 31st March is important or not important. Yes. Imagine an example where what is happening is you are going through your classes. September batch you are writing. So what happened is March classes are going on. March classes are going on. 31st March, end of the financial year, classes are going on properly. Classes are going on properly. On 31st March, you complete your class and then you go for, you're going home. You're going home. When you're going on the home, you suddenly on the road saw one paper. Yes. Now you're not very interested because गिरी हुई चीज हम नहीं उठाते हैं. Yes, but nevertheless, you just saw the paper. You saw the paper and you saw that the paper has some numbers. It was a lottery ticket. It was a lottery ticket. Yes or no? Yes. So you saw some lottery ticket there with some numbers and all. Yes. Now you and I both know our luck. So we decided to ignore and go forward. We decided to ignore and go forward. We know nothing is going to happen. You know, nothing is going to happen. Someone would have thrown it because they didn't want it. So we decided to leave it go and we went home. We went home. Yes, we are at home, tired from the class, about to sleep. Yes, but somehow your mom is sitting and watching TV, watching that Saas Bahu ka show and everything, and your dad comes and says, no, I want to watch news, standard India drama. Yes, so dad opens up the news channel and he's watching the news. Suddenly in the middle of the news, what happens is one announcement comes. Today is the lottery day. Today is the lottery day. Jeetiye 5 crore rupees. Jeetiye 5 crore rupees. Yes. And so what happens? You're not interested. You're like, okay, what's the big deal? You're going to sleep. Yes. But when you're, see, somehow when TV is running outside, your ears are there only while you may be sleeping in your room, right? So the TV is making noises. It's saying today is lottery day and we're going to announce the numbers for the winner of 5 crores. For the winner of 5 crores. They start with some numbers, 22, 36, 41. Something strikes. Somewhere I have seen these numbers. Somewhere something is hitting me on my head. I don't know where the numbers are coming from. I don't know where the numbers are coming from. Suddenly it strikes. I saw it on the road. I saw on the road. Yes, now you're like 5 crores. Yes, Korodpati paisa. On the road. So what do? You immediately run back. You go through the road and you go exactly at the place and you know your luck. What happened? Ticket is not there. You're like, kyun mehnat kiya main faltu? Yes, but suddenly what happens? You hear a lot of honking. A lot of horn is going on. Yes, you're trying to understand where exactly is this noise coming from. You saw a little far away. You're seeing one garbage truck. And it strikes you. Maybe he would have cleaned the place off. So what do? You run to him. And you go and ask him, sir, did you just clean? And he said, yes, pa. Today, I'm like, sir, normally you never come. Correctly, today only you want to come and clean, is it? Yes. And he's like, see, if I do my duty, you have a problem. If I don't do my duty, also you have a problem. What is the issue? Yes. Now, you know, ticket is there, but kachre mein kaise jaye? Yes or no? Yes. Now you're in the ethical dilemma. Either I'll go and swim in the truck, or I will lose 5 crores. Bacha, इज्जत या पैसा? इज्जत या पैसा? पैसा? Yes, everyone aligns. People, even if you come and tell me the most political answer saying no, इज्जत, you in the mind are aware you want. Yes or no? Yes, इज्जत and all you will get later. No one cares. When you have 5 crores in hand, इज्जत and all, people will come to you for इज्जत. Yes or no? So what do? You jump into the truck. The whole backside of the truck, you are going and swimming inside, trying to find the ticket. You found 5 tickets now. Yes, everyone has thrown it. So you found 5 tickets and you have won your game. So now you go to the lottery shop. It's almost about 8:30 in the night. You go to the lottery shop and you show him the ticket. He sees the numbers. What did I tell? 20? Some number. Yes. Now the problem what happened is You were excited enough to the extent of 41. You forgot the lottery has 5 numbers. You forgot lottery has 5 numbers. So 41 done. Yes. And then this guy comes and says, boss, the next two numbers are 12 and 13. Next numbers are 12 and 13. You look at your ticket, it shows 12, but it shows 14. I told you first itself, you know your luck. Should have never tried. तुम्हें चाहिए पैसा, जाओ, इज्जत भी गई, पैसा भी गया. Yes or no? Yes or no? But the story is not ended. The story is not ended. Now what happened is, you know your luck is bad, so you are disheartened, you are ready to leave. Ready to leave. At this point of time, what happens is the guy comes and says, sir, but I saw you have 4 more tickets. Why don't you show it to me? You're like, see, don't raise hopes. I've already done enough today. Yes, I know I'm not going to win. What is the point? Why are you disheartening me? He's like, no, sir. Itna dur aaye ho to dikhai do. Yes or no? If you've come this far, try it out. Yes. So I'm like, theek hai, rakh le. Yes. So I gave him the 4 tickets. It so happened that the third ticket in the lottery is actually the second prize of 2 crores. 5 nahi to 2 to sahi. Yes or no? Yes. Now you are extremely happy. You're like, at least, okay, the diving has helped me somewhere. Maybe not this ticket, some other ticket has come. Some other ticket has come. Now you have received on 31st? Question. Question, taxable, not taxable. But if you say 1 दिन में क्या हो जाएगा तो क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? मतलब लॉटरी तो कभी भी टैक्सेबल है, चेक में क्या फर्क पड़ता है? चेक क्लियर करके आने में, आज के टाइम में चेक कोई देता नहीं है लॉटरी में. या तो कैश देंगे या तो जीपे कर देंगे. People, even if the clearance happens 2 days later, you have accrued it today, so it's taxable today only. Question, the 2 crores, taxable, not taxable? On? But you said previous year should be from 1st April. See, here is the issue, people. Imagine the same logic in company format. Imagine when the company got incorporated today. I'm not saying lottery, but imagine some other income. Some random income would have accrued in that one day. Yes. Now, because of that random income accrued in one day, if you say the previous year is from 1st April, what happens? That day income becomes exempt. That day income becomes exempt. Does income tax want exemptions? At the end of the day, have you earned income? Should it be taxed? Answer is taxable. Answer is taxable. In simple words, people, previous year will be 31st to 31st. Now you may come and ask, Rahul, how and from to works? Hey, you are focusing on the date, you're not focusing on the time. You're not focusing on the time. It can be 31st March 12 a.m. to 31st March 12 p.m. which still makes sense. Yes or no? Yes or no? Days also have time. Look from a time perspective, it still makes sense. And you and I both know companies are getting incorporated on 11:59, 59, 59. Because ROC closes at 5. So which means no matter how hard you try, 5 p.m. you will get a certificate. So it will be 31st March, 5 p.m. to 31st March, 12 p.m. Still makes sense. Agreed, not agreed? Yes or no? In simple words, people, previous year can be as small as few hours also. As small as few hours also. There is no restriction on that. There is no restriction on that. There is only restriction on more than 12 months. There is only restriction on more than 12 months. There is no restriction on. Makes sense? Makes sense? Yes or no? Logic clear? Yes. In simple words, people, when it comes to previous year and assessment year is always for a period of 12 months. Previous year can be for 12 or less, as low as hours also. As low as hours also, anything is permitted. How does it become less than 12 months? Very simple. If you are incorporated in the current year, if you are born in the current year, if your first source of income is coming in the current year, anything can happen. Anything can happen. People, for you and me, not for me, for you. For you, right now there is no previous year. There is no previous year because you don't earn income. Because you don't earn income. The day when you start earning income, your previous year will start from that date. Your previous year will start from that day. Makes sense? Makes sense. But you may come and tell, Rahul, small incomes I'm earning. Someone gives me that lifafa and goes and all those things. Those are still incomes. And therefore, in those logics, previous year started from 1st April itself. Previous year started from 1st April itself. You should be in a position to come and clarify saying, today is when my income started. I did not have anything prior to this. And when I say anything, I mean anything. So for an individual, normally previous year starts on April itself. It is those kind of different kind of persons like AOP, BOI, companies, firms and all those things where it starts from It starts from the date of incorporations. It starts from the dates of incorporation. Makes clear? Any doubts? Yes. Now, if I'm coming and telling that the company has been shut down in the current year, if the company has been shut down in the current year, will you come and tell Rahul assessment year is still there or not there? Assessment year is still there or not there? It's still there, people, because even though the company has shut down, my profit has been earned, which has to be taxed in the next year. So I will still tax it in the next year. So assessment year will remain the same. Assessment year will remain the same. There is no change in the assessment year because of that. Yes or no? Yes. How will the previous year work? It's the same logic. You will start from the date on which the company is there till the date on which the company shut down. Yes or no? So in my example, what would happen if the company shut down on 20th August? Your previous year will be from 1st April to 20th August, but it will stop on 20th August. After that, previous year will not be there. But assessment year will still continue from next April to March. Next April to March. Assessment year will not undergo a change because of that. Makes sense? Yes or no? Yes or no? This is what the idea is. Any doubts on this? Good to go? Yes. Great. What else is left in the definition, people? We did previous year and assessment year right now. Look, it says assessment year means a period of 12 months, fixed 12 months, commencing on the 1st April of every year. The year in which income is earned is called as the previous year, but the year in which it is taxable in the immediately following year is termed as the assessment year. For your exams, assessment year is 25, 26. Previous year means financial year immediately preceding the assessment year. So whatever assessment year you have, 1 year before is called as your previous year. This previous year is the year in which you make activities done. This previous year may or may not be for 12 months. It cannot be more than. Under Income Tax Act, previous year and assessment year always are recognized from April to March. An entity following different reporting period will also have to realign their books to April to March to pay taxes. Previous year may or may not be for a period of 12 months. In case of new business or profession, previous year will start from the date of setting up. However, assessment year will always be for a period of. That is what the idea is. That is what the idea is. Make sense? Yes. Now, what other items are left, people? We have 2 items left, which is assessable and let's tackle the bigger picture, which is. Yes, people, we are now looking at something called total income. Yes, total income basically means total of all incomes. Total income basically means total of all incomes. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. But we need to define this a little better. Yes. Let's wait on that. Now, before even we understand what is total of all incomes, let's first understand what is income. Let's first understand what is income. Yes or no? Yes. Now, we have had a discussion some time back, people, where we have tried to understand what is income. We've tried to understand what is income, and I've clarified it to you that time, saying you and I don't need to break our head into what is. It is already defined in Income Tax Act. It's already defined in Income Tax Act. Income tax will clarify it for you. Income tax will clarify it for you. There is a section called as Section 224. Section 2, Clause 24. Section 2, Clause 24, which talks about what is income. Which talks about what is income, and uses the word inclusive definition, meaning income includes. Income includes. There are almost about 50 line items in it. There's almost about 50 line items in it where they've come and told these items are all income. These items should be taken as taxation perspective. Yes. Now, I don't want to break your head into all the 50 line items. In very simple terms, income means everything which we are going to discuss from the subsequent chapter. Because if you see it in the subsequent chapter, it's an income. If you don't see it, it is. We'll stop. That is what the answer is. That is what the answer is. Any doubts on this? No. Now, also understand the fact that, people, a general rule of thumb is that income means any income. Income means any income. There is no such concept where you come and say illegal, no income. It is still a income. Even if it's illegal, it is still an income. The only problem with that is that if it's an illegal income, income tax expects higher taxes from you. Income tax expects higher taxes from you because you did not report the income. I found the income. I found the income. Where I find it, I will scrutinize it bad. I will scrutinize it bad. Just as a simple example, people, as you proceed forward in the next chapter, I will come and tell you normal incomes are taxable at a maximum rate of 30%. Normal incomes are taxable at a maximum rate of 30% plus surcharge cess and all those things. Forget all those things. Yes, but if it's an unexplained income or an illegal income, they will tax you at 78%. They will tax you at 78%. 100 rupees you earn, 78 will go to department. 78 will go to department. And if you're thinking, no problem, Rahul, at least balance will come to me. No, because you did not report the income, they will also levy penalty. They'll also levy penalty, which is another 10% of the tax. Which is another 10% of tax. 78 ka 10% is 7.8, which means it becomes 85.8%. Yes, so technically you'll have to pay 85%, 85.8% of your income to the government in order to make it legal. In order to make it legal. Yes or no? Yes. You would have all heard this word called black money. Black money. What is black money? Basically, incomes which you have earned but you have not paid tax on it. But if not paid tax on it, income tax is no worry, my child. You pay 85% of it, money will become white money. Money will become white money. Until you don't pay tax, it is black money. The moment you pay the tax, it's white money. But now you have to pay tax of 85.8%. Pay that money and then it becomes white. Whatever is left of it. Whatever is left of it. That is how logic works in income tax. That is how logic works in income tax. If you are like Rahul, no problem. At least 85% I'm paying. Balance at least is coming to my hand. No. Because you did illegal. You're also liable for. Come along. Come along. You're also liable for jail to me. Yes. So I'll put you in jail also. I'll put you in jail also. All those things can happen for you. All those things can happen for you. Which is basically me coming and clarifying to you people that doing illegal things is not bad. It is okay as long as you're not caught. As long as you're not caught. Because the day you're caught, then no one will save you. Then no one will save you. That does not mean that you should not try. So, this is not the first time I'm taking class. 5 years, nothing has happened. So even I say I know, so it's okay. Yes, point is people, doing illegal thing is not wrong. But ensuring that it is not illegal is the smart thing. Which is what we discussed. Correct, not correct? Yes. Everything is technically illegal only if it is not given in the act. It is on you to come and decide whether it is actually illegal or it is illegal. Or it is illegal. The more you make it illegal, the more you're safer. The more you do it illegal, that's where the problem starts. Because now you're doing the wrong thing in the. That is not what we are doing. That is not what we are doing. So doing illegal is not bad, people. It's good to go. It's good to go as long as you can be smart about it. You can be smart about it. Be smart about it, no one cares about it. Yes or no? Yes. 2 months later, 3 months later, an amendment will come, no doubts about it. But by the time that comes, you'll find another thing. It's a cycle, right? The more and more you find, the more and more you win. As simple as that. Yes. You will always not disclose all your secrets in a single day, right? Yes. So you'll always have backup plans. So you do one thing and then there is another backup. Then there is another backup. Then there is another backup. That's what we do. That's what we run. Yes. That is how you need to run your life. No doubts about it. Yes or no? We are getting paid for this only, nothing else. Clear enough? Clear enough? Yes. I'm being very honest, people. Yes. I don't care. I literally don't care. Yes, your audit faculty will come and tell, do professionalism, do integrity, do professional skepticism, be honest in life, everyone trusts you with the world. It all sounds good in a book. Yes, beyond the book, nothing is true. Yes, audit as a chapter itself is false. Let's be very honest. Let's be very honest. When Atishay comes and tells you about audit, he will come and tell, as an auditor, you should verify these things. You go to the market, no one will do it. Market le one simple question they'll ask, how much are you paying? If you pay more money, I will do more audit. If you pay less money, I'll do. Simple. Either like comedy is, if you pay very much money, then I will do no audit. Because then I'll just approve. Bhagwan ne bol diya to matlab sab sahi hai. Yes or no? Yes. That is the scale we have. You pay very less, I don't care. Because I don't have bandwidth to audit. You pay good enough, I'll do good enough. But if you pay very much, then I don't have to worry only. Then if you have that much money, then obviously you're doing good only. Correct? No? Correct. No. Now I don't know whether it's legal good or illegal good. You're doing good. Good for me. That you correct, not correct. ICI has come and given an open declaration saying a CA's responsibility is not to find fraud. Appa, what is the point of you being an auditor? Correct or not? Yes, you have been given as an auditor responsibility to check whether the accounts are true and fair. Check whether the accounts are true and fair. The whole idea about telling the accounts is true and fair is to basically come and tell whether there is any fraud. Yes or no? Yes. So SA 200 will come and tell you auditor should come and prove that it is true and fair. SA 2 not I don't know 210 I think I it's been a long time. I hate audit, by the way. Yes. So SA 210 or 220 will come and tell it is not the responsibility of auditor to identify frauds. But if they find a fraud, they should report. Who will come and tell I found a fraud? Will you ever go and tell, sir, I found a fraud, but I kept it with myself? One thing which someone puts you in jail, what is the first thing you'll tell? Sir, oh, there was a fraud. This is a news to me also. I don't know. How did this happen? Maybe after I audited the books, the guy would have changed something. I am not responsible to identify frauds. Did you ask me to do it? You paid me money, I did my job. My job was to come and tell you whether you have passed the debit and credit properly. Did you do it? Yes, because accounts is doing, the software is doing it for you. So what is my job? To come and check whether the software is doing a good job. Correct? No. Yes, no. That is what is called, and we call it internal control, by the way. Yes, to come and check whether the software is doing a good job is called internal control in audit. Yes, so you're now coming and verifying the software itself. So you're now going competing with Bill Gates, saying Bill Gates has made a good job. That is the beauty of audit, people. Yes, everything is there on the books, nothing on the practical life. Yes, no one literally cares what you do in practical life. They'll come and give you one chapter. You have a beautiful idiotic chapter in your audit which calls as audit in special cases. Yes, where the chapter will come and tell you that if you are going to a cinema theater, you should audit these items. They'll give you a list saying in a cinema theater, 10 items I'm giving you. These items you have to verify. These items, what you have to verify? Check how many seats are there. Check popcorn ka quantity kitna bach gaya. Check how much popcorn quantity is left. Check if the ticket shows the right name. Check if the movie for ticket is showing this movie. ये तुम्हें नहीं पता. Yes, I have seen idiotic auditors who literally go by the book. You know, you should go to some industries and all. There'll be some auditors having no knowledge about anything. Yes, they would have just now cleared and they think that they know the best of audit. They literally go to companies and they'll take this sticker and go. Right? They literally take white color stickers, and what they'll do is they'll do something called stock verification. We call it fixed asset verification. We call it. They will go to a company and come and say, I want to verify how many fixed assets you have. What fixed assets? How many tube lights you have and how many fans you have. And it will literally come to a point where what will happen is they'll take the sticker, and in the sticker they'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 solder. In every fan they'll go and stick the sticker. And then what will happen is they will put numbers there, right? So by the end of the audit, they will come and tell last number was 54. So they have 54 stickers, 54 fans. They'll have 54 fans. Then you'll go and say, okay, bring your balance sheet now. Tell me how many fans are you showing here? If it is showing 54, okay, approved audit. If not, person is misreporting data. Fans. You are misreporting tube light, they are coming and asking. I'm like, so it's like they counted 100 tube lights here. Okay. And then financials showed some 83 or something. So he said, sir, there is a mismatch of 17 tube lights. What is the reason for it? He said, nothing, sir. The tube lights were working yesterday. Today it stopped working. So I threw it off. Now what do you do in this? What will you say? You will say, sir, okay, do one thing. Go to accounts and remove the 17 tube lights. This is audit, people. I'm not even kidding. This is actually audit. I'll show you. You should go one day. Jitu bhai, I may probably take you for site visits and all. You literally see going and you will see places and all. Fans and all will have stickers on it. Most of the auditors happen. If they have done a physical assets verification, they will, fixed assets verification, they will literally put stickers everywhere saying that this is what it is, this is what it is. Karke. And they will put everything in balance sheet. They'll come and say balance sheet mein itna items hai, dekh lo. Chaotic thing happens in audit, I tell you. Yes, one of the most worst function to get into. Yes, but somehow for your articleship, that is what is a must. Right? That is the problem. Yes. Luckily, I did my articleship in tax, so I never touched audit only. Yes. So I have the liberty to come and shout and whatever I want. No one cares. Clear? Yes. Yes. Anyway, hard reality, people, nothing else. Yes. We're looking at what is called as total income and assessable. Yes. In total income, we're now trying to understand what is income. Idea is very simple. When it comes to income, people, income tax does not care what kind of income it is. Income tax does not care what kind of income it is. Income can be legal also, illegal also. Income can be in the form of cash also, kind also. Yes, I give you something, you give me something. Barter system is still an income. Is still an income. Exchange logics are income. Exchange logics are income. Yes or no? Yes. One thing which income tax has come and clarified, saying income as per income tax does not mean revenue minus expense. Income as per income tax does not mean revenue minus expense. Income under income tax means revenue minus allowable expense. Revenue minus meaning as per income tax, everything is an income. In that, I will allow you expense if I like it. Who likes it? Income tax likes it. If income tax does not like, not allowed. If income tax does not like, not allowed. Simple example, people. Simple example. Income tax comes and says lottery is taxable at 30% on gross level. On What do you mean by gross level? Without any expenses. Without any expenses. So in my example, if I would have not found the ticket on the road, I would have bought the ticket. I would have bought the ticket. For example, I bought the ticket for 1 lakh. I earned a lottery of 50,000. I earned a lottery of 50. Technically, you made a loss. Income tax is no, where lost? I only allow revenue minus allowable expense. What is the revenue? 50. What is the revenue? 50. What is the expense? 0. Upper, what is your income? Pay tax on. Beautiful. This is true. This is true. Yes, lotteries and all is one of the worst things to do in life because income tax does not like it. Yes, and this is not just for lottery people. This is also for illegal income. By the way, when I told you 78%, I told you 78% on revenue, not on income. Income tax said when it comes to illegal income, it is 78% of revenue. It is, imagine you are doing drug business. Imagine, don't. Just saying. Imagine I am doing drug business. Okay. Imagine I am doing drug business. I bought products for 100 crores. I sold products for 120 crores. I made a profit of 120 crores. I made a profit of 120 crores. You will now have to pay 78% of 120 crores, which is more than your profit itself. Correct? Correct. Don't try. Calculator will say error. Yes or no? Yes. Income tax will say I want 78 plus 10% penalty on the revenue, which means if you made 20 crores profit, no. You made 120 crores profit. I want 85% का tax only. Give me 85 crores का tax, sir. 20 करोड़ ये आया. तुम निकालो कहीं से. You bring it from somewhere. I want 85 crores. You're like, sir, I made only 20. You have other assets? Sell all your other assets. You have legal assets? Sell that also. You have your mark again, nikalo sab. Everything has to be pulled out. Everything has to be pulled out. They will literally make you personally liable for everything. They'll make you personally liable for everything. They'll take away all your assets, even legal assets. And by the end of everything, if you sell off everything to department and still you don't have money, they will declare you straightforward. They'll declare you insolvent. They'll straightforward declare you insolvent, and they'll issue a notice in the government saying that this guy has become insolvent. Going forward, don't do any transaction with him. Don't do any transaction with him. This guy has to sit on the road, do nothing. If anyone enters into a transaction with him, it is your loss. It is your loss because every transaction you do with him, he is still having unrecovered money from me. I will come and catch your money also. Unless I get the full recovery of 85 crores, nothing is coming back to you. That is the powers income tax had when it comes to illegal income, which is what I told. It's good to do, but very risky when you do it. You end up in a problem, everything goes for a toss. Make sense? Yes. Again, further discussions on this next chapter. Yes, we'll do all these things in next chapter. Yes, I know the excitement in eyes. Next chapter. Yes. Now, when it comes to income, people, I'm clarifying to you when it is any kind of legal income or illegal income, everything is taxable. Whether it's cash or kind, everything is taxable. Whether it is what did I tell? When it is income, it is revenue minus allowable expenses. Yes or no? Yes. The last and the most critical thing for you to understand, people, is that income tax gives a standard rule. Where income tax says income can be of two types: capital income, revenue income. Yes. Now you and I both understand revenue income is always taxable. Capital revenue is where income tax takes a pause, and income tax says capital revenue, not everything is taxable. It is only those revenues which I find as taxable. In simple words, income tax says if it is a revenue receipt, it is fully taxable. But if it's a capital receipt, it is only taxable if I come and tell you under section 224. Under section 224. Yes or no? Yes. So which means I'm going to categorize my income into two categories. One is called as your capital receipt and revenue receipt. If it's a revenue receipt, it is fully taxable. If it is a capital receipt, it is taxable if covered under section 224. if it is covered under section 224. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now, like I clarified, I'm not going to discuss 224 with you right now. As we do the chapters, you'll automatically understand which is a capital receipt and which is a revenue receipt. Yes or no? Yes. But at this stage, let's try to understand what is capital receipt and what is revenue receipt. How do you look at an item and decide whether it's capital receipt or revenue receipt? What is duration? It's not an expense, it's in receipt. Matlab? Expense incur हुआ तो capital income है. If you sell your, that is a okay asset. Okay. If you sell your capital asset, it's a capital receipt. Okay. I have shares of a company which I'm selling off. Is it a capital asset? It's an investment. People balance sheet, fixed assets, non-current investments, current assets. I am selling my current investments. Capital receipt, not a capital receipt. How is it a capital asset? A current asset, current investments लिखा है. I'm investing in mutual funds and I'm selling my mutual funds. Yes, I have classified it as in my balance sheet as current investments. If I sell it, it's a capital receipt or revenue receipt. But it's current investments, not capital asset. Current investment कहाँ से long term हो गया? Mutual funds can be held for less than 12 months also. Finance का business हो तो stock in trade चला गया वो. What is the ground rule? Should not be part of it. It should be there for long. I just told you it's not long. Apart from your business. So मैं फर्नीचर खरीदा आज, कल मैं फर्नीचर पे बैठा, सीट अच्छी नहीं लग रही, मैं बेच दिया. कैपिटल रेवेन्यू. मैंने बैलेंस शीट में गलत क्लासिफाई कर दिया. It's not the okay. So if something is a part of my business, it is revenue, and if it is not part of my business, it's capital. Correct? What if I'm not doing business itself? I'm earning salary. Capital revenue. No, I'm not in business. Everything else is capital. Usual course of earning, it seems. Yeah. So what's the definition then? How do you differentiate between something as capital and something as revenue, people? I'm not doing business itself. अपना आदमी business नहीं करा, अपना salary में. If something is recurring, it's. If something is not recurring, it is one line of difference. Yes, it may not be the exact answer, but it's still one line of defense. We can use that as a basis. Okay, next. If it's a huge amount, then it is. Because you start with that, my question is, what is huge according to you? Because I don't know, a chai guy will come and say 1 lakh is also big for him, but Ambani will come and say 1 lakh तो मैं कल दे दूंगा. Meaning? फर्नीचर का बोला, अगर मेरे फर्नीचर की दुकान तो वो मेरे लिए रेवेन्यू. ऑफिस के लिए या अभी क्लास के लिए फर्नीचर तो कैपिटल. So basically, if it's an item which is not sold directly as a part of business, then it is revenue. No, it's capital. But if it is sold as a part of your business, then it is. Yes. Or in simple words, can I put it like this? I can come and say if it's an income coming from the sale of assets in the normal course, it is revenue. But if it's an asset which is used for generating income in the normal course, it is capital. Agreed, not agreed. People, if my revenue itself comes from selling furniture normally, that is revenue. But if this furniture is going to be used for the purpose of selling my other items, this is agreed, not agreed. Yes, no. So this also can be a basis. This also can be a basis. So two line of difference we have agreed upon, people. One is that if it is a recurring item, then it is revenue. If it is non-recurring item, it is capital. If it is something which I'm selling to earn revenue, that is revenue. But if it is something which I'm using to sell revenue, it is agreed, not agreed. Yes. Then I may come and talk about shares. I may come and talk about shares. People, I'm selling shares. Am I doing revenue receipt or I have capital receipt? It depends on whether you are in the business of selling and buying shares. If you are in the business of selling and buying shares, it is revenue. If not, it is. Agreed with me? Yes. I'll give you some examples now. Tell me whether it is revenue or. Okay. Examples are like this, people. What happened is basically I went to a guy and I came and told him, you know what? I am planning to open a new factory. I'm planning to open a new factory. For this factory, I require 5 assets. I require 5 assets. Your job is to deliver the assets to me by tomorrow, because tomorrow is my inauguration. Tomorrow is my inauguration. If you deliver it to me tomorrow, I will pay you 1 crore as purchase cost. As purchase cost. But my inauguration is tomorrow, which means I need the asset tomorrow. If you don't give me the asset tomorrow, I will not be able to inaugurate my factory. I'll not be able to inaugurate my factory, in which case I will do 2 things. First of all, I will cancel the order, because anyway factory is not going to open. Second, whatever inauguration expenses I incur, you will pay it to me as penalty. You will pay it to me as penalty. Agreed, not agreed? Yes. So I went to the supplier and I came and told, give me 5 machineries, I'll pay you 1 crore tomorrow. If you don't give me the machinery, I will cancel the order. At the same time, I will also collect penalty from you. I'll also collect penalty from you. Background clear? Yes. Now, I went and I waited for the machinery to come tomorrow. Tomorrow it did not come. Tomorrow it did not come. So I went to the guy and I came and told, because you did not give me the machinery, I am not taking the order anymore. But I incurred 20 lakh rupees for the inauguration expense, which you have to pay me back as question. Money which I got right now, 20 lakh rupees. Capital receipt, revenue receipt. Because very good. It's a capital receipt because understand the money was directly linked to my fixed assets. Was directly linked to my fixed assets, and therefore it becomes a capital receipt. It becomes a capital receipt. I'm going to change the example a little bit. I'm now going to come and tell you that there is a supplier from which I regularly buy stock. From whom I regularly buy stock, and as a part of my agreement with the supplier, I've come and told, every month 5th you have to deliver the stock to me. Every month 5th you have to deliver the stock to me. Month of August, he forgot to deliver the stock. He forgot to deliver the stock and gave it to me on 7th. I went to him and came and said, because you gave me 2 days late, I was not able to complete my production. I was not able to complete my production, and therefore for the 2 days of delay, you have to pay me 5 crores. For the 2 days of delay, you have to pay me 5 crores. The guy has paid me 5 crores for me to deliver my product late. Now this is my raw materials. This is my raw materials. People, the 2 crores. This is revenue receipt. This is a revenue receipt. The logic is very simple, people. When I put it in the agreement, did I put it only for this event or I put it for all events? Which means I told every month when you make a delay, there will be a penalty. This is now regularly happening. Yes. Now he may not do it regularly, but it's a clause which is there forever. And it is a part of my stock, not a part of my assets. Now, even though this may not be recurring in nature, because he may be delivering properly, does not mean that the activity is regular. People, here the money is not important. The activity is important. What is the activity? Giving the stock. The activity is happening regularly, which means whatever money is coming from the activity will be revenue only. Yes or no? It does not matter that the main implications is coming once. That's okay. Imagine if the guy would have regularly delayed it and every month is giving late. What would happen? Every month will get penalty. Up every month is it capital? It will become revenue. Yes, the activity is regular and therefore it becomes a revenue receipt. The implications of the activity may be whatever you want. Maybe whatever you want. Agreed, not agreed? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. I'm coming and telling, I have an agency. I have an agency. Imagine what has happened is I have decided CA is not working out for me. So I went and approached Ambani. And I told, dear Ambani, Chennai does not have a big geo factory. Chennai does not have a big geo factory. I will become your agent and I will run the factory. I will run the factory. You give me commission. You give me commission. Yes. Now, 2 months later, Ambani came to me and said, Rahul, not working out. This is not you, this is me. Yes, I don't think this is working out between us. And therefore, let's break up. Let's break up. I said, okay, sir. The only problem is 2 months. 2 months commission chhod do. Yes, because you have now suddenly asked me to move. I will have to find a new job. I'll have to find a new job, which is not easy. It's not easy. For the time I'm not able to find a new job, you'll have to help me out. You have to help me out. Do one thing, it's a small request. Today itself, if you pay me 50 lakh rupees, I will leave today itself. I will leave today itself. Yes or no? Yes. Understand? My whole livelihood is depending on the geo factory, which is now shut down. Which is now shut down, and I am asked to. I have been received a compensation of 50 lakhs. I have now received a compensation of 50 lakhs. Compensation received by me for termination of an agency, which is my permanent job. Revenue capital. Because this depends on my livelihood. This depends on my livelihood. This is a once in activity. This is once in activity. Yes or no? Yes. Imagine I have a stationery shop. In that stationery shop, I'm also selling SIM cards. I'm also selling SIM cards. I have SIM card of Airtel. I have SIM card of Jio. I have SIM card of Idea or V, whatever you call it. Yes, I have 3-5 SIM cards. Yes. Now what happened is Vodafone came to me and told, why are you selling other SIM cards? You become my exclusive dealer. I said, I don't trust your SIM card only. Therefore, no exclusive dealership. I will lose money. I will lose money. Vodafone said, either you become an exclusive dealer or I will stop contract. I'm like, go, stop contract. I don't want your dealership. I don't want your dealership. But because we have an agreement says if you stop dealership before 1 year, you have to pay me 50 lakhs penalty. Vodafone said, it is better to pay you penalty than continue with you. Therefore, they gave me 50 lakh rupees and I've stopped their dealership alone. I am still running other dealerships. 50 lakh rupees received to me from Vodafone. My clause is there in every person I enter into an agency. I've come and told them, if you don't pay me, if you leave me before 1 year, then 50 lakhs penalty. So what? Is it my livelihood? Is my life depending on this? Is my life depending on this? Do I have this clause in every other agreement also? Which means I am doing this regularly. Activity is now regular. May happen only once. Activity becomes revenue receipt. Yes, I'm telling you, what happens with me and you is not the criteria. Whether the activity is regular or not is the question. Yes, is the activity happening regularly? Yes, buying and selling SIM cards is happening regularly. Having his dealership is happening regularly. Even if he does not give me dealership, someone else will give it to me, which means activity is regular. Therefore, it is revenue receipt. It's a revenue receipt. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Imagine I'm working in a company as an employee. Companies give me salary. Companies give me salary. One of the days, company came to me and told, Rahul, you're not doing a good job. I think your qualification is beyond my expectations. Better you leave the job. Better you leave the job. I cannot handle you. I cannot handle you. I'm like, okay, sir, no problem. My agreement says that if you want to terminate me, you have to give me 2 months notice. So I'm going to work for another 2 months. He's like, Rahul, if you stay for 1 more day, my company will shut down. Might as well leave today itself. And I said, no, sir, that is not possible because agreement says 2 months. I said, sir, okay, then there is one option. You do one thing. Pay me next 2 months ka salary today itself. Pay me next 2 months ka salary today itself and I leave today itself. I leave today itself. Rahul has received compensation for early termination of employment. Capital revenue. Because my employment was my only livelihood. Therefore, this automatically becomes agreed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. I am having a wedding right now. I'm having a wedding right now. People are coming to the wedding and giving me that moi lifafa, whatever you call it. Yes, chanda, basically. Yes. Everyone is coming to my wedding and they're giving me the total accumulation money which I've got from the wedding is about 5 lakhs. कम मेरे शादी 1-1 करोड़ की हो रही है. Yes, 5 lakhs and all you will come because एक आदमी का प्लेट 1000 रुपए लग जाएगा तुम्हें. Yes or no? Yes. So 5 lakh rupees has been total accumulation from the wedding which I had. This is basically like gift given to me on my capital revenue. नहीं, हिंदू भी डिवोर्स लेके दूसरी बार कर सकता है. You want to know the Guinness record of how many marriages? बहुत है. There is a person who is always divorced and remarried, divorced and remarried. I think 30, 35 something. 30, 35 marriages the guy had. She is basically एक मिल गई तो बहुत बड़ी बात है तेरे लिए. People capital revenue. इलीगल क्या, शादी में मिला पैसा रोज कब बोल 35 weddings is not happening one day. He's going to live for 60 years रे. 35 years तो कभी भी कर सकता है वो. Capital revenue. Why? Is the number of people the criteria or is your activity the criteria? कितनी बार शादी कर रहे हो? Ideally. Capital. Huh? I am not asking whether it's taxable or not. My question is it a capital revenue or a capital receipt or revenue? Why? I'm going to try my statement once again. It is because it is revenue that it is fully taxable and not because it is fully taxable that it is. You understand the difference? पहले क्या होगा? Capital revenue. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? क्यों शादी रेवेन्यू हो गया या शादी में मिला पैसा रेवेन्यू हो गया? Hey, I'm talking about receipt, not asset. तुम जब वहां पे असेट बेचे, तुम इनॉग्रेशन वाले केस में सिर्फ पैसा मिला था, असेट नहीं मिला था. कुछ भी नहीं गया तुम्हें. तुमने ऑर्डर दिया था, ऑर्डर कैंसिल कर दिया, कुछ भी नहीं मिला तुम्हें. पीपल लाइक दीज नो, वो कॉमेडी आता है पता है इंस्टाग्राम में कि यू नो मैं आई ओनली वांट टू ट्रैवल इन अ पिंक कलर ऑटो. देयर मे नॉट बी अ पिंक कलर ऑटो बट मेरे को ट्रैवल उसी में करना है. रीजन कुछ नहीं है, बस मूड में है बस. People, that's not how it works. You give me a logic, I'll work with you. Yes. Without a logic, you cannot come and say, no, this is what it is. Yes. Okay, I'm going to change examples. Imagine a case where what is happening is I'm running a business. And in that business, I'm selling TVs. The Samsung owner came to me and told, because you're the highest dealer of my TV, I'm giving you a free ticket to travel to UK. I'm not sure if you're getting the reference. Has anyone seen this reference? Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. Tony TVs. Yes. So basically what has happened is Tony TV has come to Jetalal and come and said, because you're selling the highest TVs for me, here is a free London ticket. It's a gift basically from my side, where you can go to travel to London, 1 week free trip for you. Capital revenue. वापस कोई स्कीम नहीं है ये. तुमने अच्छा काम किया इसलिए दे रहा हूं मैं. पर्पस क्या है? सो रेवेन्यू एक्टिविटी के वजह से उसको मिला. So if you go to Shark Tank tomorrow and you go and tell them that I've made 5 crore ka profit, so therefore I want investment of 1 crore for 2% equity. The 1 crore which you get is because of the 5 crore profit and therefore it's revenue. You get my question? Imagine for the last, see, whenever you go to Shark Tank, the first question they'll ask is how much revenue you made. So you told last 1 year I've made 5 crores ka profit. So you say, okay, great, then I'm giving you 1 crore ka investment. Because of the 5 crores, you've got this 1 crore. So therefore 1 crore is revenue now. Capital revenue. Example number 3. Example number 3. You Example number 3, people. Example number 3. Imagine that one of the guests come to my home. One of the guests come to my home and Diwali is going on. Yes. So Diwali mein they've given me this gift. So Diwali box Son Papdi has come. Son Papdi ka box has come from my relatives. Son Papdi ka box has come from my relatives. Yes. Yes. Capital revenue. तुम पास ऑन कर दोगे लेकिन तुम्हारे तो इनकम है ना. कैपिटल रेवेन्यू. तो तुम्हारा एक्सपेक्टेशन अगर हर साल मीट हो रहा है तो रेवेन्यू टेक्निकली. हाँ, ड्यूरेबिलिटी मतलब सोन पापड़ी जल्दी खराब हो जाएगी इसलिए रेवेन्यू. पैसा मिला तो पैसा भी जल्दी उड़ा दोगे ना. तुम्हारे मेरे को पैसा आया मैं उड़ा दिया. Obviously. People, this is also in simple terms, any gift given to you is always, because the intention of giving a gift is never recurring. The intention of giving a gift is never recurring. While you may expect that the guy will give you every year Diwali ka bonus, it is not mandatory to be done. Yes, now your expectation is not a gift, that is your expectation. And you know how much expectation works. I'm pointing at other people, not the boys. Correct? No? Yes, the problem with the relationship is always expectations are never met. You can never love her enough to, yeah. You can never love her enough to feel satisfied about it. Yes. So yeah, the problem with expectations is you having an expectation does not make it revenue. At the end of the day, the activity is one time. At the end of the day, the activity is one time. May come, may not come, and therefore it is always capital. In simple words, people, gifts are always. That is what the idea is. That is what the idea is. Make sense? Make sense? Yes. This is your difference between a capital and a revenue, people. We have already discussed this. Then it's still revenue because it's not a livelihood then.
Major share is by SIM card ki base, but 90% is Jio ki base.
Then it's capital. Distinguishing capital and revenue receipt, people. When it comes to revenue receipt, income from circulating capital which is turned over to yield income or loss is called as your capital revenue receipt. Income from assets which the owner keeps in his possession for making profits is called capital receipt. In the course of business, if you're selling any transactions, that is revenue receipt. But if it's not sold in the course of transaction, it is capital receipt. If you're going to have shares in securities, if you're dealing it in ordinary course, it is revenue. But if you're not dealing it in ordinary course, it is capital. When it comes to revenue receipts are always, capital receipts are only taxable if it is covered under income definitions. Examples which we discussed already, people. Liquidated damages received for delay in procurement of capital asset. This was my inauguration expense. Yes. Compensation received for termination of agency business being the only income source. This is capital. Compensation received for termination of one agency business out of various agencies. This is by Vodafone. Example. Compensation received for premature termination of employment. This was my employee example. And finally, any kind of compensation received for modification of business contracts is capital, but any kind of gift received is always capital receipts. It's always capital receipts. Now, one thing, let me clarify, people. Just because I call it capital does not mean it's exempt. I am only telling you that it is capital. To decide whether it is taxable or not will be discussed in 224 along with the next chapters. So don't make an auto assumption, Rahul, that just because it is given here it is exempt. It is not exempt. It is just capital. It is just capital. Make sense? Any doubts on this? No. Now, if you have understood this people carefully, then we have already understood what is income. We've already understood what is income. Now comes the question of what is total income. Now comes the question, what is total income? Income tax told Rahul, if you add all your incomes, it is called, very simple. If you add all your incomes, it's called total income. There's no doubt there. Yes. But the problem is, when you look at it, a person cannot earn just one place. He will earn from multiple places. He'll earn from multiple places. Now, if you come and tell me there are multiple items, income tax will have to identify each item one by one. It'll become a complicated process. So income tax will do one thing. Whatever incomes you have, put them into 5 buckets. Whatever incomes you have, put them into 5 buckets. It will fall in any of the buckets. And based on that, I will tell what is the total income, which means income tax says total income is the total of 5 heads. Total income is total of 5 heads. Understand it very carefully, people. You may have infinite sources of income, but you'll only have 5 heads of income. You'll have infinite sources of income, but there'll be 5 heads of income, which means whatever income you have will either fall into any of the 5. If it falls in any of the 5, then it is income. Otherwise, it is exempt, because it is not covered under 224. It is not covered under 224. Yes or no? 5 heads for you people, and this is what we are going to discuss as we progress forward. 5 heads of income is what you're going to be spending your time along with me. Almost half of the batch will be on the 5 heads. Almost about 100 hours misses, 60-70 hours we'll be spending on 5 heads. Yes, because this comprises of 20 marks of a syllabus. The balance 30 marks will be theory topics, states of taxes and all those things. Yes, so important part of your CA inter syllabus, 5 heads of income. Yes or no? Yes, we have 5 heads of income, people. Any guesses? Anyone who has done BCom and all? The 5 heads of income you have, you start with something called as income from salaries. Yes, meaning any kind of money received by a employee from the will be taxable under income from salaries. Then you have something called as income from HP, which is house property. Any kind of income from house property. Now, I am not saying income of house property, I am saying income from house property. There is a difference, people. What is the difference? If you sell the house, it is not income from house property. You should get money from the house in the form of, so this is talking about rental incomes from house property. Yes or no? Yes. Then you have PGBP, the biggest topic of your syllabus, called as profits and gains of business or profession. Yes, so any kind of business and profession you have, whatever profits you make out of it or whatever gains you came out of it will come in head number 3. Yes sir. Yes. Then you have head number 4, which is called capital gains. This is basically all your capital receipts. Which are not taxable under the first 3. I'm not saying capital receipts are only taxable under 4. I'm saying capital receipts which are not taxable under the first 3 will fall in 4. Yes or no? And that brings me to the last head of income, which is called IFOS. Income from other sources. This is basically your dustbin. Where income tax says if it does not fall in the first 4, it falls in the dustbin. Basically, everything is taxable. If you cannot put it in first 4, put it in the 5. Any income which you have will fall in any of the 5. It cannot go beyond the 5 unless and until it is exempt. Even if it is illegal, it will fall here only. If it's an illegal, you will have to decide whether it's illegal business, then it is PGBP. If it's just an illegal trading, then it is IFOS. Anything can happen. No matter what income you have, if it is taxable, it falls in the 5. Make sense? Any doubts? Good enough with the headings? I'll ask you examples. Yes, you have to tell me which head it falls under. Yes sir. Yes. Question. I am coming and saying I have a business of real estate. business of real estate. My job is to buy and sell properties. My job is to buy and sell properties. One of the property which I have, I was not able to sell, and therefore I gave it out for rent. I gave it out for rent, and I got rental income out of it. I got rental income out of it. People, income taxable under the head. Okay, two options: HP or PGBP. I'm going to repeat my question once again. I'm a real estate guy. My business is to buy and sell house properties. I have a house which I've given for rent.
Other sources.
Eh. Garbage does not mean put everything there. Head is heading is HP. Heading is HP. People, I clarified it to you earlier. My business is not to rent properties. My business is not to sell rent properties. My business is to buy and sell properties, which means it is not my main business. This is an ancillary business. Falls under HP. Falls under HP. Yes or no? Hey, if I'm giving examples, it's not the small ones. Just think about it before you ask. Yes. Yes. People, I'm a share guy. Meaning my business is to trade in shares. My business is to trade in shares. I'm holding Reliance ka shares. Current to today, Reliance has announced a dividend for me. I've got dividend income from the shares I've held as stock in trade. I've got dividend from shares I've held as stock in trade. Taxable under dividend received by a share broker from the assets held as stock in trade. Capital gains कहाँ से आ गया? PG? Sure. Sure. IFOS. IFOS. People understand I am a share broker holding assets as stock in trade. My job is to buy and sell shares. My profit comes from capital appreciation. My profit does not come from dividend. Is not a big number to me. Yes, because any person holding a stock in trade, people, you also understand, even if Reliance comes and says I'm giving you 5 rupees per share, they're going to get 10 rupees. Do you think 10 rupees is a livelihood? Are you running business for getting the 10 rupees? No, which means this was an ancillary income. This was an ancillary income, not forming part of any of the 4 heads. Falls in the bucket of correct. Yes or no? Yes. I'm a lottery guy. My job is to buy and sell, buy and give lottery tickets. Luckily, what happened? One of the ticket which I have in my hand, unsold, has won the lottery. So I gave lottery to myself. So lottery income from the unsold lottery tickets in my hand as a lottery seller. Winnings received from unsold lottery tickets held by the lottery trader. Because capital gains is only when you sell assets. Taxable under other sources. People, I'll give you a simple hint. The first answer which comes in your head is always wrong. Because if I'm asking the question, that is one the answer is. Yes, idea is very simple, people. Same logic. As a lottery guy, what was your job? To buy and sell tickets. Your profit is only coming from the commission of the tickets. Your profit is not coming from the winnings of the tickets. For you, it is IFOS only. IFOS only because you were not expecting this. Therefore, this becomes income from other sources. Yes or no? Yes. People, I have money in my business. So I kept it in a savings account of a bank. And I got interest out of it. Interest of money held by a company in his business. Interest received by a company from the money held in the business. Capital gains is only when you sell assets. Capital gains only comes when you sell assets. There is no asset sale. कैपिटल कैसे पैसा है हाथ में, कैपिटल थोड़ी ना वो, ऐसे देखा तो करंट एसेट है ना वो. Income received from savings account which is held by the company by investing money of the business. आपको पहले दिमाग में IFRS आया. हाँ. People taxable under IFRS. Same logic, people. My business is not to earn the interest. I had excess money, so I put it in the bank. Interest coming is incidental here. Interest coming is incidental here, and therefore becomes taxable under IFRS. Therefore becomes taxable under IFRS. Clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? People, I have just now listed my company. There is an IPO going on. There is an IPO going on. Yes or no? Yes. Now during that IPO process, people, you would have heard what happens is when you receive money in IPO, unless you allot the shares, you have to keep it in a special bank account. You have to get it in a special bank account. So what I did is I launched an IPO. I am planning to allot the shares 2 months later. For this 2 months period, I took the money and put it in an FD. I put it in a FD and got interest out of it. No, don't jump. Question is, what happened is I had some IPO expenses of 5 lakh rupees, and what I got from FD is 2 lakh rupees. Now, IPO expenses is business expense, correct? So I put that IPO expense in P&L. I put IPO expense in P&L of 5 lakh rupees. Yes, when I was preparing my tax computation, I came and said that 2 lakh rupees which I got from FD interest, I would adjust this with this. I will adjust it from this and offer only 3 lakhs as an expense in PGBP P&L. In PGBP P&L. Assessing officer said no. Interest from FD should be IFOS and IPO expenses should be PGBP. Therefore, show it separately. I am proposing to show 3 lakhs in my PGBP, meaning I am proposing that 2 lakhs should be PGBP income. He is proposing 2 lakhs should be IFOS. Who is correct? Who कौन है? 2 जने हैं. Income tax? Because so taxable under PGBP. People, logic is very simple. Understand? Now, the 2 lakhs which you got is not an income. The 2 lakhs which you've got is a recovery of an expense. Ask yourself a simple question. The requirement to put the money in an FD is something which you did yourself, or is it because Companies Act asked you to do it? Forced you to put it in an account is Companies Act. Forced you to put in an account called as company, which means Companies Act required you to put this money there, which means now you did not do it because of your interest, you did it because of an obligation. Now this is an incidental income coming from the main expense I have, which means the income which I have is incidental to the main expense and should be set off against the main expense. Hey, this is in simple way, people. If I have a GPay, imagine I do a GPay of 200 to you, I get a scratch card, 2 rupees cash back. Is the 2 rupees an income to me? No, this is a cashback of my expense. Agreed, not agreed? So can I show my 2 rupees as an IFOS income? No, I will come and say 200 rupees which I paid as an expense. I technically now did not pay 200 rupees. I paid only. Same logic, no. 5 lakhs is my expense. 2 lakhs is incidental to that main expense. So therefore it gets set off against my expense. Hey, correct. Yes. Logic समझ में आ रहा है. Yes. Just because you see the heading, you think you know everything. Nothing you know. Yes or no? Yes. There is a lot of things inside the head, people. That is why every heading has its own charging section. Every heading, as much as you have section 4 which talks about charge of income tax, every heading has its own charging section which comes and tells what will be taxable under this head. What will be? That is where my strength comes. Every time we start a chapter, you will have a new charging section to read with me, and I will show you 2 lines and ask you a simple question. What did you not understand? You will ask me the word, I will explain the word. If you don't ask me the word, No explanation of the word. I will straightforward ask an example and then I'll shame you up. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Every section has its own charging section, people. Salaries has charging section as 15, HP has 22, PGBP has 28, capital gains has 54, 45, capital gains has 45, and IFOS has 56. Yes, these are your charging sections which come and tell what is getting taxed under what head. What is getting taxed under what head. Makes sense? Makes sense. Let's take 5, then we'll come back and we'll do the balance. All right. Let's, yeah. 5 heads of income. Yes. So we have 5 heads of income, people. We have income from salaries, we have income from house property, we have profits and gains of business or profession, we have capital gains, and then we have income from other sources. Yes, these are your 5 heads of income which you need to work with. We have given you some examples and we already realized you don't know the topics. Yes, so let's not worry about it. We will have some more examples. We'll have some more examples as we go into the topics. Let's leave the fun for that day. Yes, let's not bother you right now. If I give all the answers to you right now, I'll not have much to discuss that time. So I'll wait for some time. We will have some more fun to do at this point of time. Yes, but at this point of time, people, the only thing which you need to understand is any income which you have will be classified under 5 heads of income, and the total of these 5 heads of income will arrive at something called as total income. Yes, that is what income tax is coming and clarifying to you. The moment you arrive at a total income, the tax on the total income is what you need to pay to the government in the assessment year for whatever income you earned in. That is what the idea is. That is what the idea is. Make sense to you? Good enough to go? Yes, great. This is what a total income looks like, people. This leaves me with the last word for me to complete this chapter. We are looking at something called as accessible. We are looking at something called as accessible. Now, I don't know what I should explain in this. You asked me to highlight it. Yes, accessible is basically meaning compute. Accessible means compute. Go. That's all. Yes, that is what I would say. That is what I would say. I don't know why you asked me to highlight. I have highlighted for different reason. But to answer your question, this is what the answer is. Yes, what does accessible mean? To compute the answer. To compute the answer. Nothing else to change. Nothing else to change. Why I highlighted it is very simple, people. Now, if I come and tell you, I told you that you have to pay tax. You have to pay tax. Yes or no? Yes. Now, a simple, straightforward question. I am coming to you and I am coming and telling you, beta, you have earned income, therefore you have to pay tax. Therefore, you have to pay tax. I am coming and saying, who are you to come and ask? Who are you to come and ask? You say, I'm in income tax department. I'm like, so what? You may be the authority of law, but who gave you the rights to collect taxes? Who gave the right to collect taxes? Where is it given in the act? Where is it given in the act? Yes or no? Now, Constitution comes and says you can collect taxes, but it does not say you can collect income taxes. So, to give the power to collect income tax also, there should be a law, which will be part of income tax. Agreed? Not agreed? Yes or no? Yes. And therefore, what happened is in income tax, they decided that every person who's paying taxes, will not be called as person. Will not be called as a person. Person basically means the group of people who should pay tax. But every person who pays tax will be called as an assessee. Will be called as an assessee. Can help me with the spelling? The word which you know. Next. This is what I am helping you with. This is what I am helping you with. Yes or no? Yes. This is what is the wordings which are going to be used right now. The logic is very simple, people. I told person includes individual. Person includes. Now you and I are also individual. I am paying tax. You are not paying tax. Are you an assessee? No. You're not an assessee. But I am an assessee. Yes or no? Yes. So that is what income tax came and clarified. Let's first understand what do you mean by assessee. Let's first understand what do you mean by assessee. In simple terms, income tax told assessee means any person who pays tax. Full stop, khatam. Yes. Now you and I both agreed. If a person pays tax, then he is an assessee. Agreed? Not agreed? Yes. Definition looks complete. Sure. Looks complete to you? Sure? Yes? Okay. Examples to you people. Yes? Question is very simple. Imagine what has happened is, I have filed a return in which I have shown tax. But I have not paid a single rupee. Officer comes to me later and comes and says, because you have not paid my tax, you are now liable to pay interest and penalties. So therefore, my tax is 5 lakhs, my interest is 1 lakh, my penalty is 5 lakhs, totally 11 lakhs. He says, bring the money and pay it to me. I go to him, I pay him 5 lakhs. I pay him 5 lakhs and I say, this is what I'm giving you. He says, I ask for I said I heard, but I don't care. I heard, but I don't care. I'm paying you only. Which is the, because you said I'm an assessee only to the extent of my, not to the extent of my. I went to you and you asked me for how much? 11 lakhs, which comprises of 5 lakhs of tax, 1 lakh of interest, and 5 lakhs of penalty. I came and you told me I am an assessee to you only if I am liable to pay. Am I liable to pay tax? Of, I will pay you. That's all matter over. Why will I pay the balance 6 to you? Am I an assessee to the extent of the balance 6? I am an assessee only to the extent of. So I will pay only. Baki rakh lo. Baki rakh lo. No more interest to you, no more penalty to you. Correct? No. Correct. No. Apo, I will not pay interest and penalty anymore. Which means the definition is correct, not correct. Yes. What is the definition now? An assessee means any person who is liable to pay tax or any other sum under this act. Any other sum under this act like interest, penalty, fine, etc. Interest, penalty, fine, etc. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So I'm coming and saying assessee means any person who is liable to pay tax, interest, penalty, any other sum under the act. Correct? Agreed, not agreed? Any doubts on this? Good enough to go? Definition looks complete. To whom? Obviously income tax only, because I'm putting it in income tax. That's okay. Does the definition look complete? Look complete? Yes. Okay. People, I'm filing a return. I'm filing a return. Yes. In that return, I am coming and showing my income is 4 lakhs. I'm showing my income is 4 lakhs, but I earn 4 crores. My income is 4 lakhs, but I am earning 4 crores. So I filed a return 4 lakhs. I filed a return 4 lakhs. Because I filed a return of 4 lakhs, return came and showed my tax as 0. The return came and why and all next topic. Next topic. Right now, the return came and showed it as 0. The officer put my case. The officer picked my case and he said, Rahul, you have earned 4 crores. You have earned 4 crores and therefore you should have paid tax on 4 crores. You have paid tax only on nothing. Because 4 lakhs was technically not taxable. Technically not taxable. So I would like to take you up and change your 4 lakhs to and ask you to pay. I'm saying, sir, how? How will you make me liable to pay tax? Have I paid any tax? Where am I an assessee? What does the definition say? Any person who is paying tax or interest. Am I paying tax? If I'm not paying tax, then what is the problem? Then am I an assessee? No. I know I've earned 4 crores, but I will not show 4 crores in the return. I showed only 4 lakhs. Which means I am not liable to pay tax. I am. Because I am not liable to pay tax, I am not an assessee. Because I am not an assessee, you cannot take my case up. Because you can only take my case up if I am I'm not an assessee. Why did you take my case up? I am not an assessee because you cannot take my case up because I am not liable to pay. As per my return, I am not liable. Reality may be different. Correct. Yes. Correct. क्या करें? Definition is wrong. Yes. Income tax said assessee means any person who is liable to pay tax, interest, penalty, or any other fine, and includes any person on whom I am launching a proceeding. Any person on whom I am launching a proceeding for his income. Any person on whom I am launching a proceeding for his income, which means now he can launch a proceeding because he wants to check my income. Correct. Definition is complete. Complete. Okay. Scenario, people. Scenario. Yes. Now you have told me that I am an assessee if I am liable to pay tax or if I have an income. I am in. Beautifully, I filed a return. In my return, I am showing negative 6 lakhs. I am not showing negative 6 lakhs. I am telling the government that, sir, this year I made loss. This year, but I made 4 crore profit. But I made Officer came to me and said, Rahul, no, you made 4 crore profit. You have shown 6 lakh loss, so you have not paid your taxes. I'm like, yes, I know. He's like, okay, then pay. Can you check me? Can you check me? Am I liable to pay tax? No. Am I liable to pay interest, penalty, fine? Am I having income? Where are you checking me? Proceeding for income. There is no income here. There is a. He will only get to know when he looks my case. When he's looking at my case, what am I having? Correct. Income tax said person who's liable to pay tax, interest, penalty, fine includes person who's launched proceedings for income or income or correct. Yes. Definition complete. People, I'm filing a return. I am you. That's what you're thinking. No, Rahul, income bhi ho gaya, loss bhi ho gaya, tax bhi ho gaya, kya bach gaya? Correct. I'm filing a return. I'm filing a return in which I'm showing an income. I'm showing an income. On that income, I'm saying, let's say income 4 lakhs. Tax paid 0. Tax payment 0. But I have shown that someone else has given TDS to me. Someone else has given TDS to me, meaning they deducted tax on my payments. So I showed income 4 lakhs, tax 0, TDS already deducted 3 lakhs. Therefore, tax refundable. Meaning I am now going to government and coming and saying, sir, I should have not paid any tax, but someone else already paid for me. Therefore, give me back the money. Give me. Income tax department said, no, Rahul, 4 lakhs to 4 crores. You should have actually paid more. I'm like, see, that I know. But you cannot check because no income, no loss, no tax. This is refund. This is refund case. This is not an income case. This is not an expense. This is not a loss case. This is not a payable case. This is a refundable case. You have to give me back money, which means give me my money and go get lost. Correct? Not correct? They said change and now bring income, loss or refund also. Income, loss or people definition reads any assessee who's liable to pay tax, interest, penalty, other sums and includes a person who has been launched a proceedings for income, loss, refunds, income, loss and हो गया. People think income over, loss over, payable also over, refundable also over, everything over. No. तो income हुआ ना. Anything else left, people? No. Last example. People, I told you just now that when I showed my return, I showed a return of 4, tax 0, TDS of 3 lakhs, which means someone has to do TDS. Yes. Now look from that guy's perspective. Now I am that person who's supposed to make you payment. Income tax says before you make a payment, you should do TDS. Income tax said before you make a payment, you should do. I said, I will not do. He's like, no, Rahul, you should do. I'm like, I will not do. He's like, Rahul, I'll call you an assessee. I'm like, where will you call me an assessee? Is this my income? Is this my loss? Is this my refund? Is this my payable? This is my expense. Correct. No. People, this is neither my income, neither my loss, neither my refund, neither my payable. I am doing TDS on you, which means this is my expense. You put an obligation on me. You put an, which I don't want. And because it is not my income, not my loss, not my refund, not my tax, I am not an assessee. So therefore I am not doing TDS. I am not doing TDS. Correct? No. Correct? No. Correct? No. Yes or no? Yes. Final change from the income tax. They said assessee also includes any person who has been made liable for TDS but has not done so. We call him as assessee in default. We call him as assessee in default. Yes or no? What is the definition, people? Assessee means any person who is liable to pay and includes pay any tax or any other sum under the act, and includes any other person for whom you launch proceedings for income, loss, refunds, payables, and includes any person who is treated as assessee in default. Assessee in? Agreed. Any doubts? All clear? Last scenario. People, imagine I have a child at home. And if we discuss some time back, people, I have a minor child. Yes. Now what I've done is I've taken all my business in the name of minor child, which means I'm showing as if the minor child has earned the income. Now we discussed some time back, I told you, if the child earns the income from the skill, then it is his taxable. But if it's not skill, then it is my taxable. I have taken a business, put it in the name of child. His skill, not skill, should be taxed in my name. I filed a return. In the return, I showed my income. I did not show his income. Income tax department came to me and said, no, you should have shown his income also. I said, I'm not showing. He said, no, you should. What did I tell? Not showing. He's like, Rahul, I will treat you as assessee. I'm like, that you cannot do, because not my income, not my expense, not my loss, not my tax, not my refund. Neither am I doing TDS. This is his income, not my income. Correct, not correct? Correct, not correct? So what did income tax do? Income tax now said, in respect of which a proceedings have been launched, not just for your income. A proceedings has been launched for your income or anyone else's income which you are taxable for. Anyone else's losses for which you are eligible for. A loss, na eligible then. Yes, any other losses for which you are eligible for. Anyone else's refund which you are claimable for. Correct, not correct? नहीं समझ में आया? They have included now not my income. They've included my income plus anyone else's income for which I am taxable. Meaning minor child's income for which I am going to pay tax. Sorry? किस पे? उस पे इनकम, अपने इनकम पे या उसके इनकम पे? उसके इनकम पे. बट वो मेरे को टैक्स करना चाहिए ना, मैंने किया नहीं तो क्या करोगे? अगर तुम्हें मेरा गला पकड़ना है तो पहले उसका इनकम दिखाना पड़ेगा ना. मैंने दिखाया नहीं. पकड़ने के लिए भी तो लॉ होना चाहिए. करेक्ट, करेक्ट. This is your definition of assessee. This is your definition of assessee. Yes. Now it's easier for me to explain the whole definition like this, people, in the boring English. But you will not understand. I will not understand. Yes. Examples always help. Complicate it better. Correct? Not correct? Yes. Yes. Read the definition now, people. Let's see if you understand it. Assessee means a person by whom tax or any other sum is payable under the Act, and includes every person in respect of whom a proceedings under the Act has been initiated for his income or income of any other person for which he is taxable, or his loss or any other loss for which he is eligible, or his refund or anyone else's refund for which he is eligible, and also includes any person deemed to be an assessee in default, which is basically TDS. Basically, ab samajh mein aa raha hai? Yes or no? Yes. Like I told earlier also, people, when it comes to laws, your English matters, because one small mistake in the English, everyone will become non-taxable. Everyone will become non-taxable. So you need to cover all the bases. You need to cover all the bases. Miss out on one base, everything becomes exempt. Yes. And therefore laws are drafted very, very complicated level, so that if you don't understand, you will follow it. If you don't understand, you will follow it, and therefore it is made that detailed. Yes. Now I'm not telling you that this is one definition which created on the first day. Yes. Obviously it changed over the period, because like I did it for you, someone else thought about it. Yes. So when they would have started saying tax payable. So someone else went and said no, income is not covered. Then someone else would have said loss is not covered. Then someone would have said refund is not covered. Someone would have said minor is not covered. And therefore they started bringing everything slow by slow. They started bringing everything slow by slow. Yes or no? Yes. This is the power of this subject, people. Every year it changes, because every year someone will find out some mistake, and every year they'll keep changing law. Every year they'll keep changing law. Yes or no? Yes or no? When income tax 1961 was created, it was this book. I'm talking about the act itself. Act was this book. Yes. Now the act is this book. The mistake is not because of the government. The mistake is you people, because you don't want to take it on face value. That is the problem with you people. No, you don't want to take it on face value. What do? You see one line, you read between the lines, and then you find a mistake. So what government will do? Government will add the mistake. Then you'll find another mistake. Government will add that mistake. So this becomes this, then this, then this, then this, then this. Correct, not correct? Yes. So mistake is you people only, and me included, by the way. So, yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. This is what is the definition of assessee. Yes. Now understand, people, if I am called as an assessee, whose income is going to be assessed, the person who's assessing my income is called as assessing officer. The person who's assessing my income is called as assessing officer. So now we know, going forward, don't call him as income tax officer. We going forward call him as assessing officer. So my relationship with that guy is that he is my assessing officer, I am his assessee. He will look at my income, I will pay the tax. What we do together in the proceedings is called as assessment proceedings. What we do as a proceeding is called as assessment proceedings. In simple word, assessing officer will launch an assessment on the assessee, whereby assessee will pay the tax on the income earned by the assessee to the assessing officer based on the assessment. Correct? No? You got the wordplay? If you understood that, that much enough. नहीं समझ में आया तो छोड़ दो. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is what the definition of an assessee looks like. Any doubts on this? Good enough to go? Yes. Now, if I look at the word, people, we said about the word assessable, where we said any income of the previous year is going to be assessed in the assessment year. It's going to be assessed in the assessment year by the, along with the, during assessment, along with the assessing officer, by the assessee during the assessment. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now, simple example to you people. Imagine a case where we spoke about the fact that you have a business which you were running. Let's say 20th August, you decided to shut down the business. 20th August, you decided to shut down the business. Now, I told you previous year starts from April to August, because you shut down the business. But your assessment year is starting next year, from next April to March. Imagine business shut down in August. After the business shutdown, assessing officer came to me next year and asked me for tax. I ran off outside India. What will assessing officer do? Chase me behind. Will assessing officer chase me behind? He'll come behind my back. He'll come and say, beta tax. No. Yes or no? What is the problem here, people? What is the problem? I am not here in India for him to assess my income, only because of the fact that I waited for one more year, called as your assessment year. When you closed business itself, had I caught you, it would have been easy. I would have not let you shut down business without even paying the tax. Yes or no? Yes. Which means having two different years, people, previous year and assessment year, sometimes causes problems. Because assessment year may be very late for you to collect your, person may not be available that time. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So therefore came in some exceptions, people. Where they said normally previous year is same as, normally previous year is different from assessment year, but in some cases I would like to make assessment year same as, in order to ensure. Correct, not correct? Yes. Think of examples, people. One I gave you. Person, what will you do? You'll tell him, don't die, pay me tax first. Huh? Meaning? So, he's still alive. No, I can still collect taxes, right? People, one example I told you, if the person is leaving India, that becomes an issue. because if he's leaving India, I will not be able to catch him after that. So what will I do? I'll tell him, pay your tax, then leave India. Say next examples. Any other example? Meaning? पैसे नहीं है तो दोगे कैसे? जब आज ही पैसा नहीं है तो नेक्स्ट ईयर भी रखूं, क्या करूंगा? आज करके भी क्या करूंगा? पैसे तो वैसे ही नहीं है ना. इंटेंशन क्या है? पैसा लेना. पैसा ही नहीं है तो क्या देगा? मीनिंग? तो प्रॉब्लम आपके बिजनेस बंद करने से, बिजनेस खोलने से? किसके? नए बिजनेस का, पुराने बिजनेस? तो पुराना तो उस समय पे कर देना, नया बिजनेस खोलने का क्या जरूरत है? People, another example could be business or profession shut down in the year. Before you shut down your business, make sure you pay tax and then shut down. Yes, I'm not bothered about the new business. I'm bothered about the old business paying taxes. Yes. So second example could be business or profession shut down in the previous year. Shut down in the previous. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Third example I'll give you, people. Imagine a case where what has happened is I have assets. I've earned a lot of income in the current year and I have a lot of assets for me to pay tax. But I realized that if I have so many assets, officer will come and ask me for tax. So what I did, no, I went to my wife and I came and told my wife, you know what, I have so many assets. If I keep all the assets in my name, I will have to pay my tax. I'll have to pay my tax. Let me do one thing. I'll transfer all the assets in your name. I'll transfer all the assets in your name. Officer came to me next year and came and told, pay your. I said, sir, tax and all I cannot pay. I don't have money. He said, no, you should have assets. I'm like, sir, no assets. Everything is in wife's name. No assets in my name. No assets in my name. You want me to declare insolvent? Go forward. But I'm not paying. What is the issue which happened here? I should have stopped you when you transferred itself. Yes or no? Because you transferred with an intention to evade taxes. Yes or no? So what could exception number 3 be? I would come and say, I will not wait for assessment year. I will come in previous year itself and tell you, don't, unless you. Scenario number 3, transfer of assets with an intention to evade taxes. I will come and say, don't transfer assets, first to pay my tax, then transfer assets. In which case, I will not wait till assessment year. I will catch you in. Correct, not correct? Makes sense. Makes sense. Yes. Scenario number 4, people. Imagine I told you about the persons. There was one person called AOPBY, where I told you, random people come together and start making business. No agreement, no nothing. No agreement, no nothing. Suddenly what happened? 4 of us decided we'll go open lemonade stand. And we made 5 crore profit. We made a 5 crore profit. Work for 1 month, shut it down. Work for 1 month and shut it down. Next year, officer came to me and said, Rahul, pay tax. And I said, why should I pay tax? It was not just my work. It was all 4 people's work. It was all 4 people's work. I actually made nothing in the 5 crores, sir. Everything you only made. So what will he do? He'll come to you. He'll come to you and he'll come and say, beta, pay tax. You'll say, sir, I also did not make money. He made money. So officer will go to him and, sir, beta. He'll say, sir, everything Rahul only handled, sir. He is only cheating you. He's telling you that he has not earned anything. Actually, everything he only took away. In fact, he cheated me also. He did not give me 1 rupee. Not give me 1 rupee. Yes or no? Yes. Now that guy comes back to me and comes and says, Rahul, pay. I'm like, sir, I also don't have. Because money was not earned by me. Money was earned by AOP. So if you want to collect tax, go collect from. Who is AOP? You only. Sir, I am not AOP. I am individual. I am individual. You want to collect from. He's like, AOP is not. So that is your mistake. That is, you should have come early. Should have come early. You did not come early. Not my mistake. Yes or no? Logical. People, this will not be an issue when it comes to companies, firms and all, because we have a regulation there. Companies Act comes and says, before you do liquidation, you have to pay tax. Partnership comes and says, before you dissolve, you have to pay tax. AOP, there is no such rules. Because random people came together, started doing random things. Correct, not correct? Hey, for these kind of models, I need to be careful. What will I do here? I'll come and say, I will not wait till assessment year. The moment you are ready to dissolve, that day itself, I'll come and ask you to pay tax. Ask you to agree. No. Yes or no? Yes. So exception number 4, I'm coming and saying you are AOPBY, created in the year, dissolved in the same year. Dissolved in the same year. Before you dissolve, agreed? Yes or no? Last case, people. Last case. Imagine a case where what has happened is I am a shipping company. What am I? Shipping company. Not Indian guy, foreign guy. So foreign ship coming to India, collecting passengers from India. Foreign ship coming to India, collecting passengers from India. Income tax department comes and says, beta, you are a shipping company earning income from India because you are collecting passengers of India. Please pay your. I said, sir, currently is previous year. अगले साल देखते हैं. We'll see next year. We'll see next year. No promise, sir. I'll come next year. I'll come and give you. I'll come and give people. Problem with shipping companies is once they go, no guarantee of tomorrow ship may also not be there. Yes or no? Yes. Also, ships take a lot of time to come back. Yes, it travels and comes and back. It takes months, sometimes years also to come back. Sometimes years also to come back, and by the time it comes back, ship itself may not be there. Yes or no? Yes. In all those cases, I would like to take the risk, not like to take the risk. Because understand, people, when it comes to planes also, there is regulations. Yes, there is a plane agency. You can go to other countries and come and tell you have an aircraft area. If the person is traveling there, give me money and all. But when it comes to ships and all, it's very risky. Because any random person can buy a ship and he can keep traveling everywhere. You will not be able to find him. Yes or no? Yes, you have seen this books and all, no? Around the world in 80 days. All those kind of books. Randomly you take one ship and travel everywhere. Will I be able to catch you? Those cause an issue. Those cause an issue. Here is where income tax told I am not waiting till assessment year. Before you leave India. Ooh. Foreign ship. Before you leave India. First, then you leave India. Agreed, not agreed? Yes or no? 5 examples for you people where income tax says your previous year and assessment year will become the same year. Case number 1, I am leaving India, no intention of coming back. Case number 2, business or profession discontinued in the year. Case number 3, I have transferred all my assets with an intention to evade tax. Case number 4, AOP BOI created in the year, dissolved in the. Case number 5, foreign ships coming to India should leave India only after. That is what the idea is. Makes sense. Now this is one theory question for your exam from chapter 1, people. Yes, in chapter 1, 2 questions kept tested in exam. One is what is your circulars and notifications MCQ. Second is what are the cases where previous year and assessment year will become. That is what the idea is. Yes or no? Yes. Good with theory, people. Anyone has difficulties in remembering theory? Everyone can easily mug up? No? You want examples? Yes. Okay. Let's do one thing, people. Let's create a story. What I'll do is I'll create a story for you. Yes. We'll work with the story. And the story will give you the answer. Yes. I'm going to work with the most honest person of India, Mr. Vijay Mallya. Yes. I'm going to tell you his biography. Yes. Mr. Vijay Mallya, people, the big shark of Kingfisher, has now started a business called as Kingfisher. To transport people. Yes or no? Yes. So he's having a company called Kingfisher. Guy made enormous amount of money and has now decided to go lavish. How many of you are aware about it? I'm not sure. But Vijay Mallya decided to also invest money in F1 racing. You know what is F1 racing? It's a car race. Yes, you would have seen this Disney movie called as Cars. Yes, where they'll have a racetrack, they'll keep traveling around the racetrack. That's called F1 racing. So what happened is Vijay Mallya created a business called Kingfisher. Made enormous amount of money, and then decided that whatever extra money he has, he will bet in F1 racing. Yes or no? Yes. Now what happened is betting can happen in 2 ways. Either you can put Sata saying that this car will win, or you can buy a team itself. As much as he bought RCB, he also bought one F1 team. So what happened? Vijay Mallya went to F1 team and came and said, you know what, I want to buy one team. The problem what happened is when he was buying the team, the owner came and said, boss, F1 is not cheap. You need huge money, not small money, huge money. Yes. Now Vijay Mallya was rich, but was not very rich. So what he decided is he will go and talk to his friend. Mr. Modi, not Narendra Modi, Nirav Modi, not Narendra Modi, Nirav Modi. I don't know how many of you are aware. Anyone? Nirav Modi is the biggest scam of diamonds. The biggest scam of diamonds. Yes, two most honest people of India. Two most honest people of India. For those who have not heard about frauds, scams, and all in India, there is one very beautiful show in Netflix. It's called The Bad Billionaires. It's called The Bad Billionaires. You should definitely watch it. Yes, that Bad Billionaires has 3 episodes. Episode number 1 is of Vijay Mallya. Episode number 2 is of Nirav Modi. And episode number 3 is on Sahara scam. Anyone idea? Sahara, you've heard about it? No? People, long time back, when you had Indian cricket team, you would see one big logo here. There'll be a Sahara logo. Yes, that was one of the biggest scams of India. One of the biggest scams of India. Crores and crores of money taken away from poor people. Crores and crores of money taken away from poor people. I think the guy's name was Binoy something. I don't remember his name exactly. Yes, Sarvajit Binoy or something. Yes, biggest scammer of India, Mr. Sahara. Yes, chit funds they created, and they took money from left, right, center, all the poor people. All the poor people. I think they made some 4,000, 5,000 crores of scam in this. Every poor people lost money in that. Yes, a lot of people suicided and everything also in this scam. Yes, big issue came up in this thing. You should definitely watch that show. One of the most beautiful shows. It's not a episode, it's like a biography. Yes, it's called Bad Boy Billionaire. Yes, you should definitely watch it. For those who do not have Netflix, rent from your friends. Yes, yes. The show basically what happened, people, is that Nirav Modi was also something like this, one of the biggest scammers of diamond, but he also had invested in F1 racing. He also had invested in F1 racing. So what happened? Mr. Vijay Mallya went to Nirav Modi and came and said, I want to invest in F1. You also want to invest in. Let's come together and invest in F1. Let's come together and invest in F1. Do we have an agreement? Do we have an agreement? No. We just did a handshake. Meaning this is like BOI, body of individuals. Yes or no? Yes. So Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi has now decided to invest in F1 racing. This was the biggest mistake they made in life, because both of them lost heavy money. Their team did not win. Same as RCB, never won a World Cup. उन लोग के लिए वो world ही है. Yes or no? Yes, the RCB fans die as if the world is going to end that day. Yes. So same as wherever Vijay Mallya has touched, everything has gone bad. Right? So F1 racing also did not win. But the problem what happened is they put too much money into this. And they also started playing Satta. Satta is basically betting. Yes or no? Yes. It so happened that once the F1 game got over, they made huge losses. People are standing behind their back and coming and saying, give me money. Yes or no? Yes. Now these two people realized not enough money in hand. So what should we do? Run away. We should decide to run away. Yes. Now before you run away, you have to do some things. First of all, they shut down this. So first thing they did, they shut down F1 team. Second, Mr. Vijay Mallya decided to run away. Hey, for running away needs, where will he get money from? Sell RCB. He decided to sell his business of Kingfisher. Yes. So he decided, next thing I will sell my Kingfisher. Shut down my business. Hey, but people, business cannot be just like that shut down. It has assets. So if you want to shut down the business, you need to sell the assets. All the assets. So what he did, he decided to sell assets. Yes or no? Yes. So 3 transactions he has done, people. First, he has shut down the F1. Second, he shut down the Kingfisher. Third, he sold all the assets. Now he's ready. He has money in hand. Ready to leave. Now the problem what happened, guy is a Kingfisher, plain guy, which means he went and approached Indigo, said, I want to travel from India to outside India. Indigo said, no, you are my competitor, so no travel for you. He went to SpiceJet, he went to Air India. Everyone said, no travel for you. No travel. From here the story becomes, it's not real. It's hypothetical. Yes. So what happened is I went and Vijay Mallya called all the people and came and said, give me a trip. They said, no trip for you. Now he is left with no choice, but wants to leave India. He cannot go by air. He has to go by waters. Yes or no? Yes. So now he's trying to find a ship. Problem is Indian ships know that he has done a scam. So they're not ready to help him. So he calls outside India. He calls his friend Doraemon. He calls his friend Doraemon. Yes, he calls Doraemon and comes and says, I am stuck in India. Take me back. Take me back. Now the problem with Doraemon, robot does not understand things. Therefore, he thought, okay, genuine guy asking for help. Therefore, let's help. So he opens his pocket and he opens a ship. He opens out a ship. People, door and all is okay. That's easy. But this is Vijay Mallya, people. For the guy who has done so much riches, he has babes and all along with him. So he needs a ship. I've told you earlier, I don't explain jokes. People who heard it. Yes. So he has people along with him. Yes, people along with him, and has decided to go by ship. The luxury and everything, want to put one hand in the pocket, one beer in hand, all those things he wants. Yes, one cigar in the mouth, all those things with the hair and all flowing on the air because of the sea water, sea breeze and all those things. So he wants that luxury. So he goes to Doraemon and comes and says, bring out a ship. Yes, so Doraemon opens the pocket, brings out a ship, keeps it on Indian waters, ready to leave. So what happens? Doraemon comes with a ship. Yes, all ready, people. All ready. Guy is ready to leave India. Doraemon comes and asks Vijay Mallya, you are leaving India. When are you? He says, इस जगह पे वापस ना आना लाडो. Yes or no? I'm never coming back. Guys, leaving India. Coming back, not coming back. No come back. No come back. Yes or no? Yes. Happy ending, the end. Yes or no? Yes. उनका काम हो गया. People, 5 instances, 5 examples. 5 examples. AOP BOI. क्या? Created in the current year, discontinued in the current year. Business or profession, discontinued. Transfer of assets with an intention to. Doraemon is non-resident. Shipping company. Non-resident shipping company leaving India. Individual leaving India. No comeback. No. This is your 5 examples. Either you read theory or you make stories. We are better in stories. This is what your story is for your remembrance. Yes or no? Yes. Just as a hint, people, this came in September exam. Yes or no? Yes. So these are the kind of questions which keep testing in exam, and easy 4 marks for you. You just have to remember the story properly. People, order and all is not important. Yes, whatever you write is your choice. My only small request, when you go for exams, don't start writing Vijay Mallya, Kingfisher. Yes. English remains English. Stories for your reference. Makes sense? You want to note down?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we'll do it later. Yes or no? Yes. This is your exceptions to the rule where income of the previous year becomes same as assessment year. Income of the previous year becomes the same as assessment year. Any doubts till this? Good enough to go? Shall we close the chapter?
Yes.
This is the end of the chapter number 1. Your basics of income tax. From my book, basics of income tax. From our classes, foundation also done. Yes or no? Any doubts till here? Good enough to go? Great. From next class, people, we are going to start with sums. But before we start with sums, I always have a rule that I give you something called golden rules of taxation. Like you have golden rules of, I am giving you golden rules of taxation. Yes. Basically, it's a step format. You need to always have this format followed. If you follow the format, you will get your marks. If you don't follow the format, you lose marks. I have another 10 minutes. We are going to write the first time you're opening your books. Yes, yes, yes. A fresh book with a new smell. Put out your names. Yes, please put out your names. Ensure that the name before had a word CA behind it. This is nothing for you to keep happy. This is a pressure on you. Motivation तो होगा ही नहीं पता नहीं. This is a pressure on you. The pressure now I'm building on you कि आज ही तुम CA बन गए हो. Yes. इसके बाद अगर नहीं बने तो इज्जत उछल जाएगी. Yes. So have your name with your CS. With your CS. Yes. Next page, people. The heading of the page is called as Golden Rules of Taxation. It's called as Golden Rules of Taxation. People, everyone who has a book, one small request going forward. If you are planning to write any running notes, that will not be part of the same sequence. In the sense that I will tell you what to write this side. If you want to write your own notes, you write from the back side. Yes, don't mix both. Don't mix both, because tomorrow when you read for your exams, you will not know what you have written, you will not know what I have written. Yes, 99% of the cases I will not make you write anything. Yes, all the things which I would want you to write will only be part of your sticky notes put inside your main book. Yes, so this will not have much. The only reason you will be using this book is for writing sums, for solving sums or doing homeworks which I give you. Yes, if you choose to write any notes, if you choose to write any running notes which you think is useful for you to read in the future, you will always do it on the back side. You will not do it from this side. Yes, and small request, when you make running notes, tomorrow you should know what you're reading. Yes, today writing it down is okay, but tomorrow you should be able to remember it. So every time you make running notes for yourself, please make sure that you put the page number against it. Page number of what? Page number of my book. Page number of my book. So you write a running note, you put a page number there, so that tomorrow when you read the page, you know what you're talking about. Yes, it should not be like random things you're reading together. Clear enough? Yes, these are all small tips for you people, for you to get ready for your exams. Right? During your classes, you may not realize the importance of it. You may just be going on with the classes. The fun and everything is going on. Okay. But when you start reading on your own, you'll realize the mistakes. Yes, that time you'll start regretting that I would have done this better, I would have done that better. Yes. So from the very start of it, keep that practice that yes, you're making a book which is going to help you clear your exams. Yes, yes, have that knowledge with you. Yes or no? Yes. On the top, people. Heading is called as Golden Rules of Taxation. You start with step number 1. You start with step number 1. Yes, yes, get the speed, people. Identify the question. Step number 1, identify the question. Identify the question and its requirement. Identify the question and its requirement. One of the most stupidest step, if you come and ask me. Yes, if you read the step itself, it looks weird. You're coming and saying what? Identify the question and its requirement. You'll be like, yeah, this is what I know. No, what is the big deal in this? Yes. From tomorrow's class, we'll see that. Yes, from tomorrow's class, every time you do a sum, the first thing I'll ask you is, did you do step number? Yes, one of the most stupidest steps which should be aware. That's the most common thing to do. And that's the problem that it is. It is not commonly done. Yes, the most thing which is not common is common sense. Yes, yes. Step number 1, people. Identify the question and it's step number 2. Step number 2. Identify the person. Identify the person. Identify the person and his residential status. Identify the person and his residential status. I'm going to ask a quick question. Who is not using black pen? Raise of hands. Anyone not using black pen? Everyone on par? Sweet enough. I thought books will tear today. Step number 3. What have you written? Step number 2. Identify person and his residential status. Yes, here is where I'm coming and telling, when you look at an item, tell me first whether it's an individual, HUF, company, AOP, firm, BOI, whatever it is. Yes, because in Income Tax Act, every person operates differently. Every person has a different tax rate, different treatments, different way of working. Yes, so first of all, you need to know who exactly are you answering here. Yes, second is what you're trying to understand, what is his residential status. Basically, I'm trying to understand whether the person is an Indian resident or an Indian non-resident. Because very simple, people, if you're an Indian resident, you will pay tax in India. But if you're a non-resident, you will still pay tax in India. You will still pay tax in India, but not much. You'll pay lesser. You'll pay lesser. What and all, we'll discuss next topics. We'll discuss next topic. Step number 3. Step number 3. Determine whether determine whether the income is taxable or not. Determine whether the income is taxable or not. Yes, here is a case where I'm coming and telling you know there is an income with you. You need to ask yourself a question whether it is now taxable under India or not taxable under India. Yes, for example, Elon Musk sitting in US earning income from US. Will you pay tax in India? That is what step 3 will answer you. That is what step 3 will answer you. Yes or no? Yes. Step number 4. Step number 4. Classify income into guess people 5 heads. Very good. Classify your income into 5 heads. Classify your income into 5 heads. This is basically the most important topic of your whole syllabus. Yes, one mistake here, everything after this is wrong. Everything after this is wrong, and I'm being very serious about. Yes, if you choose to put something of PGBP under IFOS, something of CG under HP, something of HP under salaries, your whole chapter is wrong. Your whole chapter is wrong because model itself is different. Every chapter works on its own fashion. Yes, something may be allowable under PGBP but may not be allowable under CG. Something may be allowable under CG but may be exempt under IFOS. Yes, difference of opinion happens in every chapter. So one small mistake in classification, you can stop working itself because everything else after this is wrong. Everything after this is wrong. Yes or no? Yes. Step number 4, classifying your income into 5 heads of income. Step number 5. Step number 5, provide. Step number 5, provide necessary deductions, comma expenses. Provide necessary deductions, comma expenses, comma exemptions, provided under the respective heads. Provide necessary deductions, comma expenses, comma exemptions under the respective heads. Yes, 5 is a consequence of 4. If 4 is a mistake, 5 is automatically wrong. 5 is automatically wrong. Yes or no? Yes or no? Full stop, continue. Full stop, continue. This will arrive at, continue people, this is not the new step, continue. Full stop, continue. This will arrive at income from all heads. This will arrive at income from all heads. This will arrive at income from all heads. Done. Step number 6. Step number 6. Include someone else's income. Include someone else's income if accessible under your hands. Include someone else's income if accessible under your hands. I just gave you an example, people. This is your minors. This is your minors. Yes, simple examples. Yes, basically minor income gets taxable in your hands. That's what the idea is. Yes, point number 6 is what you wrote. Include someone else's income accessible under your hands. Accessible under your hands. Step number 7. Step number 7. Step number 7. Claim. Step number 7. Claim any losses. Claim any losses / unabsorbed depreciation. Claim any losses / unabsorbed depreciation. People, all this may look a little weird to you. Don't worry. As we go into the subject, you'll understand this better. Yes. Full stop, continue. Full stop, continue. This will arrive at, full stop, continue. This will arrive at gross total income. This will arrive at gross total income. This will arrive at gross total income. Done. Step number 8. Step number 8. Claim. Step number 8. Claim chapter. Claim chapter Roman numeral 6. Don't write Roman numeral, just put 6. Yes. Claim chapter. Let me show it to you. Point number 14, people. Point number 14. Claim chapter 6A deduction. Point number 14. Claim chapter 6A deduction. Yes, comma section 10AA deduction. Point number 18. Point number 18, people. Comma section 10 AA deduction, comma, section 10 AA deduction. Okay, yes, full stop, continue. Full stop, continue. This will arrive at total income. This will arrive at total income. Yes, put the total income in apostrophes. Put the total income in apostrophes. Yes, yes. Continue, continue, continue. Within bracket. Continue within bracket. Round off. Continue within bracket. Round off to the nearest 10. Within bracket. Round off to the nearest 10. Round off to the nearest 10. Step number 9. 9. Step number 9. Compute tax. Step number 9. Compute tax under default tax regime. Compute tax under default tax regime. People, point number 20 is what I'm looking at. Point number 20 is what I'm looking at. Compute tax under default tax regime within bracket section 115 BAC. Within bracket section 115 BAC. Yes, yes. Step number 10. Step number 10. Compute tax as per. Step number 10. Compute tax as per alternate tax regime. Compute tax as per alternate tax regime within brackets. Within brackets, Finance Act. Compute tax as per alternate tax regime within bracket Finance Act. Finance Act. Step number 11. Compute tax. Step number 11. Compute tax as per AMT. Capital A, capital M, capital T. Chapter number 19, people. Compute tax as per AMT. Alternate minimum tax. Yes, full forms and all is not important. You will understand. Yes, compute tax as per AMT. Done. Step number 12. Step number 12. Step number 12. Higher of. Step number 12. Higher of open brackets. Higher of open brackets. Step 10 versus step 11. Ma, तुम्हारा step 10. Yes, higher of step 10 versus step 11. Basically, compute tax of alternate tax regime versus AMT, whichever is higher. Yes, so it's higher of step 10 versus close brackets versus it is higher of 10 versus 11 versus 9. Higher of 10 versus 11 versus 9, whichever is lower. Whichever is lower. Basically, what are you doing, people? You will compare 10 and 11 first. Find whichever is, then compare it with 9, whichever is. That is what it is. That is what it is. Yes or no? Yes. Full stop, continue. Full stop, continue. This is called as gross tax payable. This is called as gross tax payable. This is called as gross tax payable. Step number 13. Step number 13. Claim. Step number 13. Claim TDS, comma, TCS, comma, advance tax, comma, self-assessment tax, comma, self-assessment tax, comma, relief under section 89, relief under section 89, comma, partial integration of, we're going to maths, partial integration of agriculture income, partial integration of agriculture income, partial integration of agriculture income. Step 14, add interest, under section, add interest under section 234A, 234 capital A, people, 234 capital A, comma 234B, comma, guess, 234C, add interest, comma, add interest under section 234A, comma 234B, comma 234C, and late filing fee under section 234F, add and late filing fee under section 234F, under section 234F. Yes, full stop, continue, full stop, continue. This is your final tax liability. Full stop, continue. This is your final tax liability. This is your final tax liability. Again, final tax liability will go in apostrophes. Final tax liability will go in apostrophes within bracket. Round off to nearest 10. People, everything is a pattern. Follow the pattern. Round off to the nearest 10. Round off to the nearest 10. Step number 15. Step number 15. File return of income. Step number 15. File return of income. Full stop, continue. Revise if necessary. File return of income. Full stop, continue. Revise if necessary. Revise if necessary. Last step. Step number 16. Step number 16. File updated return. File updated return for any miss outs. For any miss out. File updated return for any miss outs by paying additional taxes. File updated return for any miss outs by paying additional taxes. The end. Yes or no? Yes. This is your golden rules of taxation, people. And if you actually honestly follow this golden rules of taxation, your syllabus will get over. Your 25 chapters or 23 chapters what you have forms part of this syllabus. Step number 1 you know already, identifying the question, no requirement there. Step number 2 is identifying person. People, we already discussed the person definition in chapter 1. Yes, it was identifying person and residential status. Residential status is a part of chapter 3. Then comes your determine whether income is taxable or not. That is scope of total income. So chapter 3. You also have a chapter on the bottom which is called as exemptions. Last one. Yes. So this is your step number 3. Next. This is basically everything else. Yes. You start from chapter 4 to chapter 11. You start from chapter 4 to chapter 11, which is your step 4 and step 5 under the respective heads. Step 6 is, this is what we call as clubbing of income. Then chapter 13, set off and carry forward of losses. Next, chapter 14 and 10 AA is chapter 18. 10 AA is chapter 18. Then chapter 20. That is your next chapter which we are going to start from next class, chapter 2. Then you are doing AMT, which is chapter 19. 12 is the format. Chapter You are looking at TDS and TCS in chapter 15. So step number 13. Also, advanced tax self-assessment is chapter number 16. Chapter number 16. Then chapter 17. Chapter 17. File updated return chapter 17. Chapter 17. What did we miss out, people? We have missed out agriculture income, part of your claim, a partial integration of agriculture income. So step number 13. This is a part of your step number, that alternate tax regime number is? Alternate tax regime is step number 10. Yes, this is what your chapter looks like. This is what your chapter looks like. If you follow your golden rules, your syllabus is over. Your syllabus is over. Now looks easy. Definitely not there. Definitely not there. My small request, people, while I'm not giving you the books right now, you will get it by next week. You are supposed to go through this golden rules. Yes, as much as you have mugged up accounts and told what is debit, what comes in, credit, what goes out, and all those things, you will remember the golden rules and come. Yes, going forward, whenever I do a topic and if I see a mistake happening, I will ask a simple question. You forgot to do step number. You forgot to do step number. You should have it on the back of your head. Yes, I forgot to do step number 8, step number 7, step number 4, step number 5. Guilt is what I want. Okay, so for you to have the guilt, you should first know what to read. Yes, so by the next class, you will remember the golden rules and come for the classes. Yes or no? Yes. Apart from that, people, chapter number 1, like I clarified earlier, is a good chapter for basics, but is not important for exams. There is only 2 topics which are tested from exam perspective. One is what is circulars and notifications, and one is that 5 examples. Yes, these are the only 2 things which are tested from exam perspective. Apart from this, the chapter is not very critical, but I spent time for the last 4 classes because you need to know what is the foundation. Yes, it will be very ugly if you go to finals and we ask the same question. Yes, at least when you go to finals, when you come back to any other faculty, you should come and tell, ab pad liya, pata hai. Yes, that is what I wanted from you people. So that's why we spend so much time. Otherwise, not so critical. From next class, we are going into hardcore tax. We're going to start with sums. So by next class, please have your calculator in your hand, people. You need it. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Thank you, people. Have a good day.